Let's count for us. Holy shit, gamers. How's it going? It's your boy, Bodman Blazeman Monman. And we're here to flex a little bit of our newly gained musclage and also contemplate how shit I am. So, good morning, everyone, or good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are in the world. Hello, 12. Hello, Reese. Hello, Scar. Hello, Midas. Hello, anybody else who is in chat. Go ahead, let me know how you're doing. You know what? I'm going to quickly add... I've been meaning to do this for a little while. I'm going to add, like, a... I guess we have, like, an I am here reward. Maybe we do like an I am here and I am lurk. Do not perceive. I think because I saw that on Ray's stream a few days ago, and I was like, man, that's a really cool idea. I am lurk. I will not perceive you. Can be one as well. There you go. Beautiful. There you go. There is now an I am lurk option where you guys can let me know that you're here and you're lurking without me necessarily acknowledging your existence, which, as far as I'm aware, is something that people want. And I am Steve. Cool. I'm just letting people know that I am... doing a VOD review, and let's get this shit on the road, shall we? So folks, today, as per the usual, if you guys remember, us doing VOD review streams earlier on this year, I'm going to jump into, one of the games that Spooky and I casted on Saturday. And we are going to go through it. I'm going to give my honest opinions on how I thought we did. I'm going to try and give solid constructive feedback to both myself and Spooky, and then turn that feedback into more general lessons that any caster who's watching this could potentially take away as well. Now, the match that I picked for us today is a little strange, because it is my second time ever casting... my first time ever casting Predecessor. This is the second game of the set, and some very interesting stuff happens in the game. So, that's kind of where I'm coming from in regards to this match. We are going to go from the start, which is, by the start, I mean, the intermission back into Spooky and I from the break, and we'll go from there. Now, one thing for those of you guys who are keeping track with the stream as a whole today, I was told at the end of this stream, at the end of this set, to go easier on the players. Now, this is something I'm going to be looking out for myself to see whether or not I agree, and maybe I did go a little too hard on the players, or whether or not I'm going to double down on disagreeing with that comment. So that is the main thing that I'm searching for today, on top of just general practice and, you know, the way that Spooky and I are casting and delivering the broadcast itself. I'm also setting myself a secondary objective to critically look at myself and see if potentially I was being a little too rude to the players. We'll see. Okay, are we ready? Chat and chatettes. I'm gonna wait until at least someone says that we're ready before we go, because you know what? Let's go! Let's fucking go indeed. Let me know if the levels are okay for you guys. Blazy Mars here, back at it for game number 2 of week 5 of the PPL Mark 10, coming off the back of a pretty quick. Can you guys hear that okay? Flow State looking to confirm the 2-0 for the 2 points. Why are you looking at me like that? So, I will say, straight off the back, that Spooky and I were, a little silly. This is maybe sillier than I would normally go. But because Spooky and I have a lot of chemistry already built up, Spooky, for those of you who don't know, was one of my casters when I was the head of talent for the SCC. So we already have quite a lot of synergy, and because it was my first time, Spooky also tends to prioritize going for a Chair 1 position, which is more play-by-play focused. So him moving on to Chair 2 is a little bit more uncomfortable, so to kind of compensate for that, we try to tune up the entertainment factor a little bit and have a bit more fun with it. So if you notice it's a little bit silly, that's why. I'll stop it if we get a little too much and explain my thoughts. Can you guys hear the VOD okay?
Your name is Blazy Bard. I can see it, right? It's right there.
You don't like our ship name?
I hate this man.
So this is something, for context. During the break, chat were trying to find Spooky and I a ship name. So chat floated Spooky Bard and Spooky Bars, Spooky Blaze. And during the break, Spooky and I were there like, we should probably just get out on top of it and solidify what works best for us. So we decided to go with Blazy Mars. A little goofy.
I could never.
But chat, here's the distinction. Chat were into it, so that's why we decided to lean into it.
Finish that sentence. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's I know.
Been holding that in for 3 years.
Spooky.
Wait.
Last game, we saw Mach 10 struggle with the objective control. This game, looking straight at the draft to begin with, what changes can we make in the P's and B's to iron that out and give our boys a little bit more objective pressure? So I like that quite a bit. We have a little fun moment. It doesn't go on too long, I don't think, anyway. And then I, the chair one, who is in charge of the stream, in charge of kind of the pacing, outside of production, obviously, then kind of go, let's get this back on the rails, and then ask Spooky a question.
I mean, it's really a difficult thing to address in the picks and bans because, quite frankly, I look over Mach 10's draft. I don't dislike it. I don't think it looked bad in any capacity. I can't say, oh, well, maybe we should have prioritized the Richter because it got banned away top 2. I think Flow State did a very good job of limiting what Mach 10 could bring to the board, and with what options they had, I think they just needed to execute a little.
So here's a note for me. Don't take a mouthful of your dinner moments before you jump onto cast and then are chewing for the first. I didn't even realize I was doing this at the time, but like, I guess I'm like picking food out of my teeth or some shit.
Strongly in the early stages of the game. Well, I can't even say that because they did do well in the early.
Yeah, it was really that mid-game that let them down. Similar bans here. Starting us off, Flow State not choosing to ban the Yuri first. Thought maybe that was an interesting pick. It was tasty food to ban away the Wukong to begin with, but Yuri banned swiftly away in return by Mach 10. High chances we'll see the same bans away. Richter gets locked out as well. Yeah, that's. I mean, what else do you say? Actually. Okay, so here's a note for myself. And probably something that we'll touch on quite a few times as we go through this VOD. My game knowledge is not where it probably needs to be, even as a chair one. I really do lean on Spooky here, but already, even in this moment, you can see me struggling, because not only do I not remember what the bans were in the first game, because I didn't write them down, that's on me, but also I'm struggling for the names of the characters. So when I look at Aurora here, who gets banned out, my reaction isn't to go, actually, they make the adaptation to take Aurora away. Spooky, what do you think of that? I go, and there's that person banned away. You guys know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna go turn on the AC, my fan, because it's hot in here. Okay. Yeah, so already my lack of knowledge is having an impact on my ability to direct Spooky in these questions. Hold on.
I like that.
There is a small adaptation here. Actually, something that you and I were talking about in the green room before the start of the set is denying this pick. Aurora taken away by Mach 10. They did not enjoy getting run down by it last game. There it is. Okay, and again, what a fucking awful pass that was. Yeah, they don't want to play against it again. There it is. This should have been... it should have been way shorter. I'm speaking way too long here. This should have just been... Actually, Spooky, we were wrong. We are going to see the small adaptation of Aurora being taken away. I know you have some opinions about this. Why don't you enlighten the audience? Rather than going on this whole ramble about... We were talking about this in the green room before the start of the game, blah, 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 blah.
So... I don't know if we can say we were talking about it so much as Spooky was going on a tirade about the Aurora. But I do like this adjustment from Mach 10.
And I'm going to note here a little bit of my conduct. I'm way too casual. Like, you don't drink while cams are on. And I fucked that up because my throat was dry. and I'm like chiming in. I'm being very casual. I personally don't like that. Looking back at it, I could make the excuse my first time. I'm trying to lean a bit more on the entertainment side of it. But as a flat out rule, I am not a fan of how casually I'm taking this.
And I do think that Aurora was causing problems specifically around the objectives. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Zaris can cause some bigger problems. Now, the Coliseum is a longer cooldown than the Glacial Charge. It does take longer to come online. It's not up at level 3.
So, this is going to be a little bit of my own personal preference here. I would have liked to have heard Spooky go, Zaris can also cause problems. Drop that, let me take it back, and go, this is a top ban. It was banned away last time, Spooky. What does this change in picks and bans mean, right? Or some kind of thing to pass it back and forth. One thing, and this is a note that I gave Spooky between matches anyway, is when you're casting, you don't necessarily want to hold the mic for longer than 30 seconds. We talk quite a decent amount about vocal texture, where if you're hearing the same voice for a long period of time during a commentary, you can kind of start to tune it out. So by passing back and forth, not only do you give yourself more room to breathe and you lose the risk of rambling and going too long, but you also allow the audience to have that change in vocal texture.
Get to level 6 first, but he also brings a lot of lockdown, a lot of damage. This is still very potent, and I think a bigger problem that Mach 10 now faces is the fact that this Coliseum can be brought into those lanes, isolate a lot of targets in team fights more effectively sometimes than the Glacial Charge, because you don't have to play those walls around yourself. I like this.
Yeah, similar draft coming back here for Mark 10, though. Countess going to them this time. Sticking with the same jungler, they didn't feel like that was an issue. I tend to agree with them. I don't. Again, that's me searching for the name of the character. It's Quang, by the way. Didn't come to me in the moment, but that hesitation there. The same jungler, just not great. Lack of knowledge. It was an issue. Quang, absolutely fine for them. Countess rounding this out. Retaliation from Flow State. Looking at Revenant and Argus. So again, wrong name for the character. We rebound it pretty well, but a completely different approach from knowledge again.
So
Severog, no Revenant. He looks like a Revenant.
Well, he's more like a Wraith than anything, but that name is also unfortunately taken by a guy who doesn't look anything like a Wraith.
Spooky really helps me out on the recovery there.
So, Severog it is.
He's a spooky ghost man who looks like he eats the one ring for breakfast. Would have been funnier if I didn't stumble over that. Also, not a comedy routine, Blazy Bard. Let Spooky talk about the draft.
How do I even respond to that? Like,
Hammer. Hey, look, twin blast. He's got 2 guns.
There's
too goofy.
2 guns. That's more than 1. Double the damage, probably.
Sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot. We're not even in the first game. But so much of just like that was too goofy. We lose the tone. We lose the time to really break down what Severog and Argus really mean for this draft, and then we move on to discount Tom Cruise here, and we break apart a little bit. So, yeah, just a little.
Get this guy off the air. Let's take a step back here and look at what Flow State's got so far.
The old Sevenant Wraith, yeah.
Normally,
yeah. As an aside, I cannot fucking believe that this guy's name is neither Wraith nor fucking Revenant. His name's fucking Severog.
You don't see the Severog get picked into the Countess. In fact, a lot of times Countess is picked into the Severog because she just has a much better early game, can bully him around a little bit. But if he can scale, if he can get online and reach that late game and get those stacks online, he becomes an unkillable monster who can just dominate fights. This Argus could be mid lane. It could be support. He brings so much damage and CC either way.
I'm blinking so much.
Has a good amount of versatility.
I'm gonna blame my lack of ability to keep eye contact with the camera on the fact that this was 2 a.m.
In where they put each of these picks right now. I need not remind you, Sevrog has been played in the jungle. Zars has been played in the off lane. And right now, I'd probably pick the Twin Blast too, because I need some form of safety against this thing.
This is the gun that's gonna do damage. This is the gun that stops me if I'm scared. Very risky joke. Very risky joke.
Can we say that?
No. The win condition here for the Sevrog definitely going to be an important thing to think about. I don't remember much from my Paragon days, but I think when Sev came out before the other two, but yeah, 50% of the roster looks like a Revenant. Yeah, it's crazy. Decker, they don't want to see that. And Toenail and Scorch taken away here. Flow State, they don't want to see that again. Not high enough priority to ban in the first round, or pick in the first round, but definitely high enough priority to take away in the second round. Reese, what do you plan on doing for the lack of knowledge? Just play more or go and learn from the wiki on change updates? That's a really great question. So, one of the things that I did before we did this cast was sit down with Spooky for a good half an hour. I got his opinions on what characters are really strong at the moment, what roles were kind of taking priority in picks and bans, what characters were getting banned away, and a little bit of why. But mainly gaining knowledge about a game. You can do that from playing the game yourself, watching other people stream, watching kind of competitive level broadcasts where the casters are going to teach you about that kind of stuff. There's a few different ways that you can really update your knowledge on games. The ones that I normally take is I talk to people I know the game. So, I mean, Scar's been here since I started playing Predecessor again, and a lot of the knowledge that I've gained of the game has been a combination of playing and also asking questions to Dungeon. And then I did the exact same with Spooky. In fact, I can show off my notebook. So in my notebook here, in my notebook, I wrote down the team names, the player names, some notable picks that each of the players like to play, some previous accolades. So, like, I wrote down that Mach 10 had just come off the back of winning the PCC championships for NA. Mercy, one of the players on Flow State, is a two-time world champion. I wrote down, Maguli is really great on Revenant and not Revenant. No, it is Revenant. Revenant and Sparrow. Bodley Do plays Narbash a lot. In fact, Narbash is like Nardly Bash or Bodla Bash or something like that. And then I asked Spooky kind of what are your priority picks for each role, and then what are the top bans. So these are the kind of notes that I write down pre-cast. Something I definitely should have done beforehand is checked the most recent patch notes to see if there was anything particularly relevant that might change the way that some of these characters play. But long-term solution, obviously playing the game more, making sure that you stay informed with all that kind of stuff. Really good question.
So vulnerable in that lane, right? The thing about Iggy is that he
really good question.
And sorry, Scorch. I'm not gonna say it.
Toenail.
I'm not gonna say it, Blazy.
I do get Spooky to call him Toenail by the third game, and I'm quite happy with that. Name is Toenail. I'm also pushing this bit a little too far, but we'll allow it.
He does such a good job of pushing that he can often find himself out of position, and he's a character with very limited mobility. You're taking a look over at,
limited
Zara,
mobility?
Sevrog, Argus.
You called?
You probably don't want to pick up the Iggy. That said, like you just touched on, Faye also has very limited mobility, but what she does have is the Venus flytrap, right? She can pull people away. Also, with the right augment, that nettle path can also give you move speed, still slows down the enemies, so you have a little bit of a way to get away where someone like the Iggy does not. That's why he has a little bit lower priority, but it's still banned away for those objectives.
Revenant and Morn picked up here, likely just the slam into the dual lane which I think then collapses our possibilities here
Oh yeah.
on the top side of this draft, right? Zarus likely in that jungle position, Argus in mid, Sevarog rocking the offlane. So this comes back and bites me in the ass. But this is fine. It's a little bit of a recap on Flow State's draft now that it's complete. Gives the audience an idea of what to expect as they go in. That's pretty good.
It was a good run. Good games. Maguli's on Revenant. He's got his comfort pick. This is a very similar look to how Flow State won PCC. They got a bunch of comfort picks they just really like, and they're able to play lights out on them. And we already saw how Maguli played in game 1, where he was kind of kept down, right? Bardley Dew and Lakenator were really bringing some hurt to him and saying, Maguli, you're not that guy. You don't get to play this game the way you want. And then it turns out late game, he does just play the game the way he wants. Now on a comfort pick with Peak on Morn as well, this is a very dangerous duo lane. I'd expect a lot of attention coming out from... Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, so this from Spooky just goes on way too long. I like the little bit of context. I like this is a very similar draft to what Flow State picked for PCC. It's something that works for them. It's comfortable, and it's shown to work. We then get a little lost in the source, and then it takes a little while for Spooky to pick up on the new pick. I think we could have just heard, this is comfortable for Flow State, this is what they like to run, this is how they won PCC, Mark 10 are going to have a hard time fighting into this, but look at this very interesting change to the draft. That allows me then, as the chair one, to present this Feng Mao to the audience, go... Yeah, absolutely. Really interesting change-up. Spooky, last pick, Feng Mao, not a high pick rate character. This is Mark 10's ace in the hole. How, like, what does this pick do?
Wait a second. This is a TB Kwang. This is a Kwang support right now. I don't hate that. Can definitely get active on the Revenant early. If you can bring North over with this Feng Mao, there's some serious kill potential here. That's not a bad look.
Yeah, instead we start talking a little bit about Mark 10 without really discussing the Feng Mao. We start talking about Kwang being in the support role, which is important, but presenting the end of the draft is more important to allow the audience a good picture of what's going on. So, like what I did with Flow State, what I think would have been better is if Spooky threw it over to me sooner, I could then recap Mark 10's draft with the addition of the Feng Mao, and then package that back to Spooky to ask about the Feng Mao's role on this team. Yeah, I want to highlight this last pick. Well, we'll get into game as I ask you this question here, Spooky, to kick us off. Feng Mao, last picked here for Mark 10.
Yeah.
As we jump in, they need to round this off to find themselves a point. Let's see if they can get it. Spooky, this is a very big swing, almost quite literally, to pick up last. You would assume that means that Mark 10 have something very specific planned for their jungler here on the Feng Mao.
I think this
Yeah, so that's exactly how I wanted to package it. Really happy with that pass off. Typically, play-by-play casters, when we get into game, it is your role. I mean, sometimes if you have a bigger squad to work with, they normally would at PPL, so far as my understanding, have a desk that then throw to the casters on the game. But when you're picking it up, when you're transitioning to, you want to get out of there ASAP. Early game is all about the analyst. Find a question to get the analyst talking straight away. Give us your, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into game number whatever. Spooky, tell me about this thing. And that's exactly what I did.
Last pick on the Feng Mao was very much a bait from Mach 10, right? They locked in Kwang early and said, you know what? You just saw North play this. We're prioritizing it again. It's going in North's hands. You know who our jungler is. Don't worry about it. Stop looking now. And then they pull the switcheroo at the end. Now they lock in the Feng Mao and said, haha, this is our support. We're bringing nothing but pain, death, and misery from the jungle.
Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of this in one way. I like what Spooky is saying about how Mach 10 used the draft to kind of bamboozle Flow State and kind of dangle the flex pick at the front, we think that you're assuming this is going to go one place, and then right at the end we snap that away from you once you built your draft assuming one thing. But what he doesn't do is actually answer my question about what Feng Mao does in this position.
High mobility, high damage. Frankly, if you can get him moving early on, which we saw a lot of success in,
He
that
now does
middle
go
lane
into it,
in
but...
game 1, you have a ton of damage to bring around the map. Where Mach 10 stumbled was in that snowball. They weren't able to keep...
Yeah, so I think for me, this should have been... Well, Blazy, Feng Mao is a really high-risk, high-reward character. That execute can be so impactful in these team fights, but it's all going to depend on whether Mach 10 can position North to take advantage of it. We saw Mach 10 have a really strong start last game. Let's see if this can be the repeat and they can capitalize better on it. That snowball is going to be so important. And then pass it back to me. I can find something else to pass back to him.
This is a great way to add additional layers to the pain of the hurt ball.
But that only really works if they can get it started early. Yeah, so then I have to add that extra context, right? It's a good thing for, you know, it gives me something to say when it gets back to me, but that could have very easily gone into Spooky's hands. Spooky could have laid out that foundation of this, you know, it's a high-risk, high-reward pick, and then I could have, you know, basically moved us straight along to the next talking point. Feels precarious here from Mark 10. We'll have to see if it pays off for them as already a little bit of... And this is my own inexperience with these players coming in. Spooky does pick it up. But you will very soon hear from Spooky, this Maguli is the ADC player for Flow State. Him and his mid laner have swapped roles for this match in particular. So this is going to come as a surprise to us. Existence here. But obviously, if I knew the players better, I would have picked up on this in this moment. The left-hand side, seemingly... Pressure seems a little bit more even, though. It doesn't feel as one-sided as it did on that first wave with Flow State on the Sparrow. And this leads to me basically talking about fucking nothing, right? Talking about pressure on the left-hand side a minute in is nothing. It's a non-talking point. It's just something to throw out there to sound like you're saying something. This definitely should have been highlighting... Oh my word, Spooky, but can you believe it? Chicken and Maguli have swapped places for this match.
Yeah, and well, actually, Chicken on
Spooky
the
now
Revenant right now. Switch up in the roster. I didn't even notice that until just now.
That's not very nice.
Yeah, a little bit rude. That's what I'm saying. The Revenant does...
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't hate it. It's a goofy thing to have happen in a game, so...
Switch up in just who's playing where. That's crazy! That is ungodly amount of confidence and ego coming out from Flow State right now.
So I think this should have been handled better by us personally in this initial moment. This should have been from Spooky. I love the surprise. I love the energy that he's giving to it. And he is highlighting, this is really weird, this is a lot of ego showcasing to it. The tone, I think, is a little bit off, but, I mean, we're both a bit there like, what the fuck is going on, so it's fine. Hold on, look at Argus in the jungle, no mobility, he's about to get pincered by 3. Okay, and this is an important lesson for you guys at home who are interested in casting. We are, with the spectator, in the left side. If I was only paying attention to what the spectator was showing me, we would have missed this kill on Maguli here in the mid lane, potentially, or maybe we wouldn't have gotten to it until a little bit later. When you are casting, just like when you are playing, your attention should be split, unless there is action happening right in front of you. Your attention should be 80% on the map, 20% on the field in front of you. You are looking at that map more often than not, because that is where you're going to identify what's going to happen. Obviously, the more that you play a certain game, the more you're going to get to know kind of when you're expecting fights to happen, when you see things on the map, if that actually means anything. So here, I'm seeing Argus all the way across the river line, which means that he's in the enemy jungle. Argus is a no-mobility character. He's about to run into the jungler and the mid laner. His own jungler is quite a decent way away. So I call this out.
Going out from Flow State.
And I'm choosing to not discuss the role swap right now because that is not important. What is important to you as a caster is narrating what is happening right now. When there is nothing happening right now, that is when you can focus on the other stuff. But you are there primarily to talk about what is going on in the present. The future and past are there as filler if you need stuff to talk about.
Right now.
Hold on, look at Argus in the jungle. No mobility. He's about to get pincered by 3. Maguli could be in some trouble here if the CC is right. Trapped in, low health. Surely they don't make it out of this. The backstep just barely, not quite able to find the movement north with First Blood. And we were talking about the snowball potential. There's one character that you definitely want to give that First Blood to. North is the answer. And yeah, I don't hate that. I get out, okay? It's fine.
And that's such a beautiful play there because it's a very intentional handover of that kill. They could have secured that. It could have gone to Bride. Instead, he took that step back because he knows North is coming in and said, hey, buddy, First Blood for ya. Get that first stack online. He's now got 5% extra physical damage and a little bit of gold in his pockets. Beautiful way to start your game off. What are we talking about? Oh.
So that should be it from Spooky there. Beautiful way to start your game off. Comes back to me. Seeing a lot of pressure in the right lane here, Spooky. Sevarog is losing this wave under tower. Talk to me a little bit about this counter Sevarog matchup, and then we can pass it back to Spooky. But instead, Spooky's going to hold the mic a little too long.
How early do you get this started? First Blood is a great way to get the ball rolling.
Oh, I misremembered that. Lovely. Never mind. Spooky, I'm sorry. That was actually fine from you. I've got no problem with that. Push under tower there from Mark 10. Need to deny BKB as many of these minions as possible. Those stacks gained when you kill a minion with an ability. Hold on, yet again, more action in mid as Bry could be in some trouble this time. Mercy's made the rotation over all the way into the jungle. Flash comes through. Faye's gonna be safe for now, but Ghoulie on the stairs, looking potentially for a little bit more chicken. Yeah, that's... I lose the plot there. Should have just been get out, basically. Flash comes through, let Spooky take it. If anything else happens, Spooky can always pass it back to me. It's the same philosophy, right? I'm saying that Spooky's holding the mic too long when he could just pass it to me and then I can pass it straight back. Exact same problem from me there. I finished the sentence, the fight stopped. Instead of passing it back to Spooky, allowing him to talk about something and potentially pass it back if something else happens, I'm holding on to it in case something else happens, which is not good. Don't do that. Out of the lane. Lakeinator under some trouble. Peek Mercy as well, taking some damage. But yeah, as you called, here comes the rotation from Mercy. And it's going to be Bartlett all up the lane without a panel. He's dead here for sure.
Yeah, nowhere.
And I get out there because I can feel myself running out of air to speak. So I'm like, I need to breathe. My analysis is also in my head. I'm like, okay, they're not going to really get much else after that fight. But that could have so easily been talking about Faye flashing away. Spooky talks about something. Spooky picks up the engagement on the left-hand side. Oh, look at this. Mercy comes in, gank on Bardladoo. And then I can talk about it a little bit better.
Right through him. That's going to be a kill for kill. Jungler for jungler. On the kill board now. Good answer from Flow State. Unfortunate for them, though. They only end up getting that support. They had their eyes on a few different prizes. Keep your eyes on the left side. North coming in as well.
Yeah, more action spilling through here. Chicken is just too low to reliably get away from the man with the long stick. But Lakeinator is actually going to pick up a kill for himself. Both dual laners taken down here by the combination of jungle and carry. What a way to continue to push this lead. North walks away. He wants more. Yeah, but what the fuck? Yeah, shut up. That was really dumb. Again, I'm trailing on. I'm losing the plot. One thing I will say here is during... so what you guys are hearing on the finished broadcast, Spooky and I did not have any game audio. So in a lot of these team fights, you might hear... And it got better the longer we went through... but you might hear kind of some hesitation. We don't pick up on kills as soon as they happen. Because the kill feed takes so long to get on screen. Like, you know, if there's like 3 kills, you're waiting like 15 seconds to see the 3rd kill. So if you see hesitation during the team fights and we're not narrating the kills as and when they come, it's mainly because we're not really hearing what's going on as it happens. So do forgive us a little bit there. But still in that same vein, trail on way too long. Hey, what's up, Anita? Welcome in. How you doing today? And hello, Wangle07 to you too. Welcome in, buddy.
Very crucial.
For those of you just joining us, by the way, we're doing some VOD review. Myself and Spooky Mars is cast on the predecessor Premier League on Saturday night. So if you are interested in commentary, you come to the right place. You know the emote Pepe W? Is that a Peepo wave? That way. What? I don't know that emote, I'm afraid. You know that guy? Oh, well, any friend of Dungeon is a friend of ours. How you doing today, Wangle?
For Flow
What about
State,
me?
that
I'm doing
North
okay.
Is not a part of the kill onto P.
I lost my tennis match today, fucking atrociously. 4-6 and then 1-6. I absolutely fucked it the second set, so I'm exhausted and also my pride is wounded. Wangle is the person who can certainly give you some toenail tips. Amazing. You also a Toenail and Scorch fan, Wangle?
Didn't get an assist there, so he does not have the 3 stacks on his pass.
Oh, shit.
That means he's still at just the 5% bonus right now.
And you're watching me? What a compliment.
He can come flaring into life at any moment. Now that he's gotten his stacks on this left side, expect to see him maybe make some rotations around. But
So Spooky's holding on to this way too long. Right, we are talking about something that happened 20 seconds ago while a fight is breaking out in mid.
Onto P. Didn't get an assist there.
I'll tell you I'll tell you as soon as I think Spooky should have gotten out here.
He does not have the 3 stacks on his passive. That means he's still at just the 5% bonus right now. He can come flaring into life at any moment.
We can come flaring into life at any moment. Both junglers have just walked into lane. Maguli has just hit Faye with a stun. That's the full stop. You end it. I pick it up at that point and bring up the fight. What we end up with...
Now that he's gotten his stacks on this left side, expect to see him maybe make some rotations around, but Bri under a lot of duress.
Yeah, he's got no... Yeah, so we don't actually pick up that kill until Bri is already dead. So, again, as I said a few minutes ago, when you are casting a game, your priority is to the present. Filling in details about what just happened is really great, unless there is other stuff going on. As soon as there is something more important going on, that is when you dip out of your analysis, you talk about what is in front of you. And so that needs to... Spooky needs to come out earlier than predicting the fight, or he needs to get out short and late. Yeah, that's kind of the phrase that we use, right? Either you're long and early, or you're short and late. Recognize your name from PPL backend. Figured I'd drop by. Well, I appreciate it, man. Welcome in. Hope you're interested in learning a little bit about casting, because this is the show where I tell myself and whoever I'm reviewing that we're shit and we should improve. Flash this time around. Bye-bye, Faye. No mobility, but Maguli does still have the blink available. Badler Dude doesn't want to put too much pressure on that. North has made his way over, but not too much really to claim. With Faye gone, mid-wave is up for grabs. A little bit of extra fun for Badler Dude, but very well highlighted by our wonderful cameraman there. Yeah, so I've got to throw an immediate kudos to D-Dog there for pointing out Fangtooth, because I am struggling for something to talk about. I'm like, yeah, that happened, and then instead of just like asking Spooky a question or finding a way to drop off to Spooky, what I should have done, and this is again my game knowledge coming into it, 5 minutes has just hit the top side, which is when Fangtooth spawns. For my Smite audience, that's Gold Fury. That should be the talking point. We've just picked up a kill here on Mark 10. Sorry, on Flow State. Faye's just been taken off the board. This could be a really important moment for us to now move over and start pressuring the Fangtooth. Instead, I flounder and I go until D-Dog points out the Fangtooth. I've done a lot of casting / desk work for Pred when I'm not playing. It's fun. Hey, look at that.
Thank you, production.
A player turned
Fangtooth
caster.
is now on the table.
We love him.
Crazy work to call him production instead of the man, the myth, the legend, D-Dog. I'll let you off the hook just one time here, Blazy. I'm actually really surprised that
Fucking Spooky. Yeah, that funny enough bit. I pull in an inside joke from earlier, where I asked D-Dog, should I refer to him as Dog? Should I refer and he just goes, D-Dog's fine. And then Spooky goes, just don't refer to him. So yeah, a bit on me as well there for saying just production rather than saying thank you D-Dog, a wonderful cameraman, or, you know, but D-Dog was also doing camera, stream, and everything, so producer felt a little bit more natural to me in the moment. It's fine. It doesn't impact the cast too much, but I think it could have been a little bit cleaner. Got my retirement plan already set up. Oh, it's the classic esports pipeline. Player, coach, caster, right? Told not to refer to him. I was specifically told we do not refer to them.
I don't know who told you that. That's I've never heard that.
It was spooky.
Ever in my life.
Yeah, so the joke kind of ends in a little bit of a weird, awkward pause there, but I don't know. I think the bit's funny enough. Tell me about Fangtooth Spooky. Shut up. Yeah, there we go. I think that could have just been tell me about Fangtooth Spooky, without the shut up, but yeah.
I don't want to tell you about Fangtooth. I want to talk about how surprised I am that Barley Dew kind of had to just watch
and Spooky
Brian
just goes
get
rogue.
taken down there. And they previously were in a good spot to go for this Fangtooth.
Yeah, so Spooky goes rogue. He's like, no, I want to talk about this instead, but then doesn't really talk about it. Kind of funny for the bit, but, you know, equally, we just end up talking about Fangtooth positioning anyway, so...
But Brian being just a step too far forward, Barley Dew not able to put out really too much peel at all as the Ventilate comes out from Lakeinator. Good body blocks from Chicken to make sure Peak doesn't go down. This does open that Fangtooth back up for Mach 10. They don't need the kills, they just need that TKO. Really can stand here and throw Disruption. But North, he's just the guy. He's going to go ahead and get this.
Yeah, I think... Again, this is a really long hold from Spooky. I kind of get where he's coming from. But I think this should have been... This really opens the door back up to Fangtooth. Because we can see here, right on the map, we can still see that Maguli is positioning himself to try and contest this. We can see Zaris rotating as well. Chicken's still got enough HP. So we, as the casters, can see from above that a fight is likely happening. Or if not a fight, at least an attempt at a contest. So I think this should have been a little bit of an earlier get out from Spooky to allow me some space to talk about this.
Really can stand here and throw Disruption. But North, he's just the guy. He's going to go ahead and get this.
He's just a guy. Fangtooth falls, and Mark 10 claim their first objective of the set as North looks to run down Argus. And, well, I don't think Maguli's getting out of this one anytime soon, but Mussy gonna claim his own mid laner. Bri falls down, and North forced to run away. Does indeed want it, and the health bars are falling low here in the... Yeah, so this is really sloppy from me, and... You know what? I am going to kind of blame the lack of sound here and the way that the kill feed is rendered out. I said it a few minutes ago, but it's... Let me time this for you guys.
Guy, Fangtooth falls, and Mark 10
so,
mid laner.
North gets the kill on... onto Maguli.
Argus, and, well, I don't think Maguli's getting out of...
So Maguli falls down at 6:30 in game time.
This one anytime soon, but Mussy
3,
gotta claim his
4,
own mid laner.
5,
down and
6. 6 whole seconds until we see that on the kill feed. And yes, you could argue that we've just seen him die, right? The health bars, but if you see the way that the camera's positioned, we kind of get this really awkward shot where both the mid laner and the jungler who we were following along with are now off camera. We don't see them back on camera until here. We've missed the kill on Faye over on the other side. And now, you know, the camera's panning over this way. So it's a little bit of I'm too inexperienced watching the game from this angle to see what's going on and to track fights properly. It's a little bit of a mix of the overlay design for Predecessor itself not really working. Here's what I like, right? One of the things that's really great in Smite is if a kill happens while there is already something else on the kill feed, it changes pretty much straight away. If this Mercy kill is, if this kill onto Faye is already on the screen, and then Maguli falls down, that instantly changes to Maguli. It's snappy, it tells the audience what's going on straight away, and it keeps the information up to date. That's, I think, something that really should be implemented. Because even when playing games, it's really confusing. I don't know if you agree with that or not. And then the third thing here is the lack of audio for us casters. We can't even hear the sound cue of when someone dies. So in my brain, I'm lagging behind because I've just seen Bri fall down. I've just said that Maguli has fallen down as well, but I don't have confirmation of that, really, Because, I mean, even
He's
look at
just the
how
guy,
long this is
thanks
on
to
screen for
Falls,
me.
and Mark 10 claimed their first objective of the set as North looks to run down Argus, and, well, I don't think...
So, I get
Maguli's getting out
maybe,
of-
like, 3 frames of Maguli falling down, but the focus isn't on that. You see how the camera's already panning
this
to
one
the right?
anytime soon, but Mercy gonna claim his own mid laner. Bright falls down, and North forced to run away. Does indeed want it, and the health bars are falling low here in the jungle, but it looks...
And you can hear Spooky, who's a bit more experienced watching from this angle, really kind of, you know, going for it and getting excited, as he should be. But just by nature of me not kind of knowing the game as well, and everything else that I've talked about really dampens this play-by-play moment.
Look at that, the triple kill from North! He's cleaning them up! Lincolnator just barely falls down to the support, but it's gonna be 4 for North and a quadra kill! That's gonna set up the jungler for devastation!
Oh my god, he just resets the Earthshaker again and again!
I think it's exciting. I'm not sure that I agree with Spooky that it's that exciting, but a quadra kill is always big, so
Stacks on stacks.
I can't complain. I just feel like Spooky has gone straight to like a 9, which, you know, it's a 7-minute team fight. Floodgate kind of come in one at a time, so it's already not a great position for them. I feel like we could have maybe gone up to a 7, like a 7.5, to still get some, you know, have a place to go.
One left to grab. Just a monster right now. Disgusting work coming out from North. And just beautiful from Mach 10 to keep that fight going and keep things kind of centered around where North was trying to come in at. That Reaping Dash takes him over the wall to get back into the fray, and he just executes after executes. North right now is terrifying. BKB trying to set up for Mercy.
Oh my god, the setup? More like knocked down. He's already dead before he makes it in. Mercy doesn't really have to do anything.
I like that a lot from both of us. Spooky, as much as I complain about, you know, starting way too high, does a really good job of bringing it back down, talking a little bit about what happened, and then, you know, this really cool moment happens in the right-hand side, so he sets us up well for that, and I don't mind that little back and forth.
Here, BKB claims credit for that one. Lovely little hammer donk into the tower there. Caught a little bit cocky. I think their counter's not really ready. They'd be thrown under the tower. Maguli here all the way in the jungle. Bodladu under some duress. Half HP already on the support. But here comes Faye, and now it's Maguli on the turnaround. Bodladu shield gets popped. Bombflower gets exploded. Separates the mid from his support. And nowhere left to go. But Mini Prime.
I like that. I feel like that was a really good run. You know what? D-Dog has a really hard call here between do we highlight the Mini Prime or do we highlight the Zarus coming into this fight. I feel like the Zarus coming in is a little more important, but, I mean, both decisions are fine. Zarus ends up picking a kill, well, Morn ends up picking up a kill onto Badladu in the end anyway, but, yeah.
In the meantime.
Maguli really tried to go into the Synaptic Obliterator and try to point-blank Bartley do there. Unfortunately, just dies as it is a self-root. Rise, though. Mini Prime being taken on that right side. Objectives starting to crawl in favor of Mach 10. Despite Flow State's scrappiness here, a lot of their fights haven't really looked too successful. I think they might need to slow things down a little bit because in Game 1, their success was on prioritizing objectives, playing...
So I'm going to say something maybe a little bit controversial here. I think this should have been the first point in the game where we really start to question Maguli's positioning. Because this is the second time that we've seen him walk into the enemy side of the jungle to greed for a kill and then get punished for it. And instead we kind of, we touch on it and then we leave it and then we highlight Mini Prime, which is important. We should talk about North picking up Mini Prime here. But I think this is the first point where we should maybe start criticizing Maguli's positioning. We'll get there. Don't you worry, we'll get there. But, yeah, I feel like that's maybe the more important thing to talk about here.
And just making sure you came online. Now, they're kind of playing Mach 10's game of allowing North to get very...
What I do like is Spooky highlighting how scrappily they're playing. This does not look like the flow state we saw in Game 1. So I like that we have highlighted that and started talking about that a little bit more.
This high damage, high mobility assassin into multiple fights where he's just loving it. He's loving life.
Mercy trapped in the baby cage with the Lakeinator, who just about, hold that horse, chicken, goes invisible looking to find the autos. One more will do it. Lakeinator falls down. Vod will do, the only man left here to try and stop the man from going away. Scratch that, North appears. He is the legend who he's the Babadook. He keeps people up at night. Mercy escapes to the right-hand side. Countess is here.
Weird.
BKB is going to be enough of a deterrent, I think. Bone Drew scratched that under tower straight away, looking to find Mercy. BKB, do they...
So this is very run-on from me, and I can kind of see it. So this is different from the last time that I had that big run-on where I wasn't deciding to get out, in that there is continuous action coming, and I'm not waiting because there might be. But still, I can even hear it in my own voice. I'm starting to run out of breath. I've been talking too long. I should give this up to give the Spooky here and let him pick this up and throw it back to me.
Have the gas on the tank to punish the play? I don't think that they do.
No, there's just
okay, and I kind of do that. I still think I stay in a little long, but
not enough damage.
I clearly
BKB
recognized
right
it in
now.
the moment as well.
He doesn't have the stacks online, so he doesn't have that damage aura just yet. And Bonju can just keep sustaining. There's no real anti-heal coming through just yet. He's working on it, but BKB, he's not in a position to keep this fight going. Has to blink away even. I don't know if you noticed, Lazy. Let's get back to that Maguli.
Okay, I'm gonna let this play out because this I do think is interesting. Spooky starts off a thought. Maguli dies here for kind of no reason, for being out of position. I want to hear what Spooky wants to say because the setup to it is interesting.
Going. Has to blink away even. I don't know if you noticed.
I don't know if you know this, Blazy. Clearly, Spooky has something in mind for something interesting that he wants to tell me, and as I am the surrogate for the audience by extension, right? But instead, we kind of get caught up talking about Maguli. I am maybe in a camp by myself when I say stuff like this, but I don't think personally every kill in a MOBA needs to be commented on. Maguli's going to die here, and we should definitely talk about that. But I think that this is the kind of kill where it's not going to lead to anything. It's not necessarily super important. I don't think it's worth, because we know Maguli's dead. Pretty much as soon as we see it, we know Maguli's dead. Even if Brian Lakeinator completely fuck up, Countess is inbound. So I think this is a finish your sentence and then we'll touch on it moment. From memory, I don't think I communicated that very well. I just wanted Spooky to finish what he was saying really badly.
Easy. Get back to that Maguli. Under some duress.
But like, Spooky's there like, we'll get back to that. Maguli's under duress. It's like, Maguli is dead. Before we even started talking about it, Maguli is already gone. So there's nothing else to say, right? All there is to say is Maguli died. So you interrupt yourself, you stop that flow of thought, you disjoint the sentence for your audience to basically just say, yeah, man died. So I think this should have been a pause, let Spook... Oh, thank you. Hello. More tea? You okay? Taking some painkillers? Go take some, please. Okay. Take some with food. But yeah, this should have been a hold that thought, finish your sentence, then we'll touch on Maguli dying.
He's dead. Don't give him attention. No, don't talk about it. Carry on.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Bonjour stopped like 4 times in that fight.
And then Spooky kind of goes back into it, but at this point now it's already kind of too late and it's not really relevant anymore, which is kind of why I'm on team. We shouldn't have given that much of attention. That like we could have talked about, Bone Drew just stayed still and did a lot of stuff. Maguli's gonna die in the jungle, and this right? We just touched on it very briefly.
He just stopped and he looked at his opponent. He said,
"Feel free to disagree with me, chat."
Oh no, I don't have to be worried about
right
you.
Side.
Yeah, and this is me noticing that. So this is me kind of noticing over the last 10 minutes and also last game that Spooky kind of goes on a little long. We've already had a few instances where he hasn't picked up on a fight soon enough, and we've missed stuff. So I am highlighting it. I'm like, we need to look at the right-hand side here. This is also me cluing in our cameraman, who might not have picked up on it because he was, watching other stuff or whatever. But yeah.
BKB
No,
under
wait, he's
some
still
pressure.
here.
He didn't back. He decided to stay, but Mercy has made it back. But you know who did? Actually press the B button. Wait, hold on. People are teleporting here, there, and everywhere. I can't keep tracking them myself. Bondrew under a lot of trouble. Mercy just has so much damage, but here's Bondrew coming in. The damage returns. But no way. Bondrew under tower. Mercy so what me in the snipe spear throw. Mercy takes my breath away. God damn.
I like that from me. Straight up, I think that was it was a little bit of a hostile takeover from Spooky, but I recognized he wasn't going to get to the fight in time. It was an exciting moment. I like the way that I handled it. Yeah, don't be afraid to talk over your chat too if they're not going to highlight important stuff. Clarifying. This goes back to that philosophy of we're there to talk about what's going on in the immediate, and that anything past or present, past or future is extra. So when there is action imminent and your co-chair is still talking about something that's just happened, don't be afraid to talk over them.
Tower taken in trade. Mark 10 still walk away ahead, but
Respectfully. Respectfully.
what a play.
What are we doing here, boys? Like, why is BKB hanging out at sub 100 health against someone he knows wants to dive him? Like, why are we taking this fight? You know you're not alone.
Okay. I'm gonna let this play out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Spooky. My biggest issue with this game.
Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna talk about this now. Spooky highlights this, so I decide to go in on it. Would I have talked about it otherwise? Probably would have gotten there eventually. But it is a very important thing to highlight, so here we go.
Is that in MOBAs, in a competitive environment, role swaps never work. I defy anyone in chat, anyone on Twitter, anyone in production to tell me otherwise, but it's to my knowledge, there is not one single MOBA professional game where a player has swapped roles mid-set and had success, and this is not going to be the exception to that rule.
So there you go. I highlight my issue. I'm not necessarily calling out Mogul? Thingy, whatever, Mordred, or Chicken. All I'm stating in this moment, because Spooky highlighted that Argus, the mid laner, well, the ADC who's playing mid lane in this game, has yet again been caught out in a fight that he doesn't necessarily want to take and nearly dies for it. I highlight my philosophy and I go, this is not a strategy that has worked out well historically in any MOBA. Don't know enough about the game or casting to agree or disagree, but it's interesting to hear the thought process behind the choices you make in the chat. That's what we're here for.
I'm not super confident of some of the fights I'm seeing from Flow State right now. I'd love to see them prove me wrong. My God!
This man is the master of movement. Lock.
I like that fine. Spooky decides to get out short and fast. Yeah, he's got a thought process, sees action about to happen, and gets out and gives it to me. And that's exactly what I've been asking for the entire game, right?
In the cage, Lakinator has to blink away, but now the counter rotation chicken taken off the board in an instant. North likes him deep fried and crispy, and he's gonna find two. No mercy for the jungler as Flow State have to run, tails tucked, as the Fangtooth is on the table yet again. The second one in favor of Mark 10, unless Flow State can say anything about it, but with only Argus and Severog in
Stop talking! Shut up! That should have been... that was a really clean out at Flow State. Have to run away, tails tucked. And then Spooky can talk about Fangtooth. I don't know why I'm still talking.
Them. No answer from the blue team.
Shut up!
I did not realize until just that moment.
So
that he
long.
had taken the tether catapult augment to just launch himself across the map. Now, he's really gonna get tethered away. Doesn't make the blink! And
So, I don't know, with Spooky, the, talking about the highlighting the augment there, I think is, interesting. I, personally, as a caster, I don't think that you should ever say, I don't know something. In this context, it's not that bleh, but just for those of you out there wanting to learn, you really don't ever want to tell chat you don't know because you lose a lot of credibility. What else does Spooky talk about there? I mean, Spooky definitely should highlight the augment and just say the amount of movement that I forget the player's name. The amount of movement that they're able to output with this specific augment is so crazy. And then we can talk about Maguli, but
He's just gonna die here. So let's go ahead and just talk about what we've seen so far. Mach 10 now on their second Fang Tooth stacked up.
and I like that from Spooky. He doesn't focus on Maguli dying. He's like, Maguli's gonna die here. Let's talk about something else.
Feeling pretty good.
And that's pretty good.
At the same time, Flow State has some spice left in them. They're still fighting back. These fights haven't been going well for them, but they're a mid-late game team. We've seen that time and time again. So the problem is, do they still have it in them with the role swaps? Mercy would like to take Bonju down and does find him with the Spear of Near execute coming through. He's got company.
Yeah, and I think Spooky holds this a little too much. I'm gonna talk about energy levels here. I feel like the energy graph from Spooky in that in those few sentences was a little weird. We go a little too low for my liking, where Spooky gets kind of really almost below normal conversation energy levels. And then for that 1v1, it's kind of cool, but also, yeah, I don't know. The energy didn't quite feel right for me. I like the get out of, you know, he's got company. I also think that this should have been passed off a little sooner. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go back to what I said 3 minutes ago about role swaps and Maguli doing my work for me to showcase my point. Right hand side. Some damage being traded out. I'm not sure that BKB is really in a ton of trouble though. He actually, I spoke too soon. Definitely spoke too soon. That Ford finds the kill. Severog not being given an inch in this game. It's exactly how much that happened. What is going on with my microphone? I can't tell if that's a production issue or if that was just my mic not working. Either way, that's an audio issue. I think in trying to keep it conversational there with Spooky, going through it and being there like, well, you know, I kind of did say this a few minutes ago. Maguli's proving my point about these role swaps. I don't harp on it too much in this moment. Again, we'll see if I, you know, keep slamming in on it. But, yeah, and then I way underestimate whether or not BKB's in trouble. He's in a really rough spot, so, yeah, that was weird. Play it. Give this guy even a little bit of breathing room. He'll be in a lot of trouble later on down the line. Mini Prime just about to come up. North recognizes that. He's already on his way. Yeah, I find an okay way to get out there. It's difficult to kind of try and analyze myself when I don't remember what exactly I said and the mic was getting the mic wasn't working for whatever reason. From the mic not working great, it sounded like I was mumbling and not really saying much other than filler, so I guess get out sooner is my note to myself.
Negative Nancy around here, right? I'm not one to like these guys are terrible, because obviously they're not.
9k gold difference.
That said, BKB did miss 2 siphons in a row on North. It just feels sloppy from Flow State. They don't feel like they're playing as if they were...
That is something else that I want to highlight, by the way. Just the spectator client for Predecessor, please give us some sort of gold difference between the two teams. Yeah, the spectator client needs work. And the scoreboard taking up the whole screen and having no transparency is also awful. IMO. And I feel the same way about it in game as well. As a player, you never want to be punished by not being able to see what's going on for wanting to check like a build or you know to check kind of what level your opponent's at. And in Predecessor, if you hold tab to try and see what your opponent is building or what the what the slash lines are, you cannot see anything, and it's the same in Spectator, and I think that's really bad.
Opponents right now, they feel like they're playing, they're looking for the scraps, they're looking for the skirmishes. They say, you know what, we're already top 3 team. Let's see what we can get away with right now. And there's something to be said for limit testing, right? Typically, you do that in your scrims, but every now and then, you feel a little feisty when it comes to game day. And right now, it feels like we're seeing the spice, and the spices might have gone bad.
So this is where I'm going to fundamentally disagree with Spooky. In any competitive league, it is your responsibility as a team to play your best to win every game. And if you want to get spicy and limit test whether you can play in roles that you're not assigned, during a broadcast, in what is tantamount to literal inting, you should be fined. That is my opinion. And Spooky even prefaces what he said, right, by saying I'm a big softie, and I agree. Spooky is a big softie, and I just think we as casters, right, we as broadcasters, if we are going to put ourselves in a position where we are going to praise players when they play well, we should also be there to hold them accountable when they play poorly. And by really softballing that and going, well, they're just getting cocky, they're limit testing to see what they can get away with, rather than calling it what it is, which is Flow State are not showing Mark 10 respect, and they think that they can win this game by trolling and playing their not assigned roles, and they're going to get punished for it. And that's really stupid. I think we are doing a disservice, personally.
Yeah, I think we need to call the games commission here and get a report on any match fixing. This does not feel like the same team we watched in game number 1. Case in point, the mid lane is dead.
To be honest, that's how Maguli plays in Norms as well. Cool, then I don't like the player. Like, yeah, I don't know. Calling a spade, I think players like that just really rub me the wrong way. I know who should be held to a higher standard in an actual game. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're gonna play like that in ranked, that's one thing, right? If you're playing competitively for money, you should, like, and I would love to see if there is a code of conduct or a contract players have to sign, to play in the PPL. I wonder if I can find something like that. Information. Official rules. Here we go. Captains must declare their starting 5 main roster. Wow, Jesus, too loud. What players will be the substitutes? Main roster players locked in. Cannot be no roster changes. Doesn't mention about roles, but that's fine. Stability. Locked into their team. Not permitted to join or compete for any other team. Remainder of the season. Subs. Blah 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 blah. Role. All players must declare the role they intend to play in the match prior to the drafting. This is essential for PPL's production to create a high broadcast experience. So they actually just broke the straight up rules of the PPL. So, yeah, I'm triple not sorry for being fucking rude. I wasn't even rude to them. Well, I haven't been rude to them so far. We'll see the rest of the match. But I don't even feel bad about being critical because they literally break the rules of the tournament. They declared the roles that they intend to play in the match prior. So unless they changed what they decided to do, because this says in the match prior to the drafting phase, so I guess this does mean that they could change match to match, which I think is really fucking stupid personally. But if they did decide to play, that was not relayed to us, the casters. Scheduling and broadcasting, gameplay rules, drafting rules, standings, rule clarifications. Yeah, there's nothing here about competitive integrity. There's actually nothing in here about match fixing. They should probably put something in that. It is currently not against the rules to match fix. Did you get flagged for how you reacted? I'm out of the loop. So, yeah, what I said at the start of the stream, 12, when I kind of went through what our goals were for today, one of the things I was fed back by production at the end of this game specifically was that I was being too harsh on the players, then I was harping on Maguli, I think, specifically for the way that they played and the role swap. So one of my specific goals was to kind of be like, okay, was I actually being too harsh, blah, blah, blah. So far, I think no.
Is it the mid laner? The ADC's dead. Bond actually could be in some trouble himself here on the right-hand side by himself. BKB does pressure him out a decent amount, but he's going to find his way out. And it's going to be Peak, actually, the one in danger. Low HP on the support. He's going to fall down to the 2 guns. So they're there for. One to kill Peak, and the other one to stop him if he gets sacked.
Double down on the joke. Shouldn't have done that. That was bad.
Badladu still looking to put pressure on this tier 2 and BKB together. Mark 10. I mean, it feels like this game they've actually got up to speed.
They're certainly feeling it. Looking to accelerate a little bit more. All right, he's gonna take a couple tower shots. He'll be just fine though. And that tower will drop down. Mach 10 have a lot of momentum right now. Maguli, I beg you not to step forward into what is surely death. The man has an ability called Reaping Dash, and he reaps his life away.
I have nothing else to add to that. He's just dead. Badladu is gonna fall in forfeit though, so I guess that's something. Congratulations, you killed the support. Have a medal. I don't know what to add to.
Yeah, I think you killed the support, have a medal. That's enough. I try and carry on and rationalize the thought process, but generally I have no problems with that. It was a really weird, disjointed fight where a lot of people died for seemingly no reason. That's fine.
As Fangtooth about a minute away from respawning here. Spooky, Mark 10 are definitely in a driving seat here. I'll stop flaming Flow State for a moment. I want you to tell me what the steps are that they need to take to start getting themselves back into this game.
You know what? In the moment, I feel like I was being a lot... I must have felt like I was being a lot harsher to Flow State than I was. Chat, you'll have to confirm for me whether or not I'm speaking out of my own perceived bias. I actually don't think I've criticized Flow State really at all at this point. The only bad things that I think I've said are the role swap hasn't been working out. The Maguli's just been dying. I don't think I've actually criticized them too much, really, here in the slightest. And the match fixing comment, but that was more kind of in jokey after. Like, I even in the moment, I must have felt like I was being harsher than now looking back at it. I think I actually was.
They need to be a little bit more cautious on their approaches right now, right? You can't step up carelessly. You have to recognize that you don't have those towers as safety lines right now. Every step you take out of your base is a step into danger, the unknown, anything to be lying in wait. And frankly, I think they have to give up this Fangtooth. Yes, it's the third one, but it's not a primal, and you're so far behind in these fights that you don't have a good way to initiate into them.
That should have been the end of that sentence. That was really great analysis from Spooky. Really, really great analysis. Definitely needed to get out about there. We'll see if he does now that Revenant has died, but this is... Spooky should be out now, and this should be me.
Your best bet? Never mind. There's no best bet. You just gotta get out.
It'd be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah,
No
it works.
flower left available for Flow to get out. Mercy already commits the point. Take it away. It's going to be Peak jumping. Well, TP finds one. PKB not left to rest. No rest for
Yeah, what happened to my microphone now? What the fuck?
the Wicked North. Does go a little aggressive. Tries to find a little bit more. And it's going to be the support Bud do. Zoning out Argus. Doesn't want anyone coming in to interrupt this Fangtooth.
Hey, Britt. How's it going?
Like it could be a little too late. Actually, could we quickly have a look at the scores? I want to see how many times exactly that.
So okay, this moment might have been a little bit too aggro, but to be fair,
Mag has died just by himself seven times. Makuli has just been in a bad position and died for no reason.
Okay, and that might sound really mean. But consider what we have seen throughout the course of this game. You guys didn't see match 1, but Flow State were very, very well put together in that. The big talking point for game 2 is this roster change, or the role swap. And a big part of when a team decides to role swap is talking about, okay, well, did it work? Was it worthwhile? I could have probably come into this statement a little bit more productively, but I'm setting it up for Spooky to talk more about it, right? But I just want to highlight it so Spooky can see where we're going, is talking about, okay, Maguli, who has been hyped up as this Revenant player, right? Who is ADC, the team picked his character, and then he role swapped into mid. He is now 0-7, largely due to his bad positioning, getting caught out in the jungle by himself, or getting over-aggressive in the jungle by himself and dying. So while I could have potentially come into it a little less aggro, I stand by my want to highlight it, because it's an important thing to talk about. I went back to work today, AC's busted, and I'm just more tired and fatigued than usual. Body hurts too, and I'm just really sad. Britt, how are you feeling pneumonia-wise? Are you recovered? Because I hope that you're fully recovered before you try going back to work. Because if you're not, you're just going to end up making yourself worse. Is there a reason that you're really sad, or is it just, like, tired sad? I'm sorry to hear that.
It's tragic, because I knew exactly where you were going with that. As soon as you said, I want to see.
Yeah, and Spooky even admits, right? Spooky's in the same mind as me. This is a really important talking point. So Spooky knows when I'm talking, when I'm there, like, okay, let's check something out so we can talk about it. He knows that I'm gonna single out Maguli, because Spooky, in his mind, well, at least I'm assuming, I'm not inside Spooky's brain. But I can only read this as Spooky is in the same mindset as me. Of, okay, what is the biggest issue for Floodgate here? Oh, it's the roster swap where both Maguli and Chicken haven't really been able to do anything.
I knew what stat we were looking for there.
I just needed to see it with my own eyes. 7 is a truly ridiculous number.
And it's so strange because, like, the Revenant is Maguli's pick. So why do we not have him on it right now? BKB, just in there. Like, he's just, Mercy, look at your health bar, man. Care about yourself. Self-care is important, Mercy. Please. Take the step back. I'll be fine.
I think my theory for this game, all the players on Flow State have turned off their own health bars. They cannot see how much HP they currently have at any given moment. That is the only explanation I can see for this, as the Mark 10 are picking this team apart. 3 people are dead. The Prime isn't up. It doesn't even matter. 2 minutes until that's up. The tier 2's on the table.
Wow.
Both of the side lane inhibitors are open. What is there left to say?
So I'm gonna contradict what I said a moment ago about So the reason I didn't stop and individually highlight each of those kills is the same reason that I said Spooky shouldn't have highlighted the kill into Maguli. Not really much to say, right? We could see on the map that they were dead. It doesn't really impact anything. I mean, it does, but it's a foregone conclusion, so we can spend that time kind of adding a bit more context and more flavor. I think this might be the big part where we were too harsh, but even then, I think what was wrong about the things that we said? Maguli was not in a good position, and he died. Mercy was at a quarter HP and decided to step into the mage's abilities. And then the team had to run away one at a time. So, you have to highlight that it's a series of really questionable plays from a team that is supposed to be the top of the top. And so if you don't talk about it, if you don't criticize it, then you can't explain why they're losing, right? So, question mark. I'm allowed to go back to work once my fever was gone, which it is. I'm just sad because I don't feel like myself. I'm tired all the time. I can't lift like I want. I'm not hungry and I feel cranky. I just want to be okay. Still feel fatigued and tired and more easily. Here's the thing. Just because your fever has broken does not mean that you are fully recovered. And what you are describing sounds a lot to me like you are still sick. You're still not fully recovered. And that makes sense. Pneumonia is not... Pneumonia is a serious thing. I mean, I know American work laws are really weird and fucking wild. But if there's any way that you can take more time off work and just relax, I know that's difficult, and I know that you've been kind of bed rest for a long time, and I know that you must be going completely stir crazy, but if you don't let your body fully recover, it's like with the gym. If you try and push yourself when you're still in recovery mode, you're just going to end up doing more damage and putting yourself out of action for longer. So just look after yourself, Brett, please.
You just hit actually a really important stat there, Blazy. We are not 20 minutes into this game, but we have 33 kills on the board. That is an insane amount of action happening on this map. And I really feel like Flow State has much better odds if they simply stop playing into that action, right? Don't step up to that objective. Go farm your lane. Get some gold in your pockets. The level differences right now are staggering, and they're in favor of Mach 10, who are doing a fantastic job of leveraging the lead that they have. Every time Flow State steps up, Mach 10 just says, bet, it's time to fight. Let's go, boys. We've got the gold, we've got the XP. You lose this.
Hi, honey. Thank you. What tasty thing did Kiwi bring today? Ooh, Thai peanut butter curry. Folks, this is a homemade peanut butter curry with vegetables donated by one of our friends who grows their own vegetables. Doesn't that look fucking phenomenal? It smells amazing as well. Thank you, Kiwi. You okay? Dying? Have you had painkillers? Okay. Do you want help down the stairs? You sure? Okay, she says that she's got the butt scoots. So she'll make it down slowly and steadily. What I was gonna say about Spooky here, I think he just holds the mic a little long. Don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot to talk about, there's a lot to break down. So, yep. If I didn't go back to work, Blazy, I think my brain would have actually killed me. I mean, my work said I could go back anytime I wanted, but I wanted to go back. I can't sleep either, just uncomfortable. Okay, we worry about you. And we want you to live your best life, so, yeah, okay. As long as you're promising that you're taking care of yourself, I suppose.
And they're right. They're just doing so much with the early leads they got off of this. And Flow State isn't playing the catch-up the way they could. BKB, like, don't be up here, dog.
All I'm gonna say is that when...
He's not up here anymore.
all I'm gonna... yeah, fine pass back. Say is that tomorrow morning when my partner gets mad at me for coming to bed so late, I'm just gonna blame Flow State for throwing game 2. Like, I don't... Like, there's so many things that we could say, Spooky. We could sit here and talk about how, you know, Flowgate can step back and farm. Flowgate. At this point in the game, if we hover the tab menu and see the gold difference, 20 minutes in, Orb Prime falls down. Yeah, we can see it with the Orb Prime potentially now. This is a 16,000 gold lead. 20 minutes into the game, first Orb Prime just went down completely uncontested. We can talk about all the ways that Flow State can come back into this, but let's be honest, this is Mark 10's game to lose. So a little bit of flavor at the start there with the, if you know, when my partner asks why I got to bed so late, it's because Flow State threw. That, you know, is it a little over the line? I don't know. I think with games like this, and this is something that Hindu taught me, when a game is so heavily one-sided that kills don't really matter, and it's just kind of a matter of time, you can't just you can't rely on commentating on every kill, so you have to kind of find other things to talk about. I think... I mean, I agree with myself. I think that's fundamentally. I think that's where I'm gonna rub up. I agree with myself in that I fundamentally think that Flow State have thrown this game. I don't know why they decided to swap roles, whether it's ego or whatever, but by doing so, they threw the game, right? Would they perform better in their own roles? Undoubtedly. Would they have won? Who knows? But, you know, I think it would be crazy to say that by potentially breaking the rules of the fucking tournament itself that they threw, I don't know. It's a spicy line, I guess. But I fundamentally don't disagree with myself for calling it out. Maybe a bit far for casting. I'll ask you this, Scar. If a player single-handedly carries a game, like goes like 20-1, let's say it's the jungler, is in every team fight, is making space for every laner, blah 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 blah. Do we celebrate that player? And are we there like, are they they were amazing? Would we look poorly on talk about the flip side? If I were to say, if my partner asks why I'm here so late, why it took me so long, it's because Mark 10's jungler decided to go absolutely crazy and win the game for his team. Would that be out of place? This is kind of my thought process, right? Because I think that if we as casters, you think so personally, okay, well then fair enough. I don't know. I think that's perfectly. That would be perfectly acceptable. And I've heard casters say similar things at a lot of levels. If you disagree with that, then I mean fundamentally, the debate doesn't work because that's fine and that's perfectly valid. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely could see the line there. I don't know if I agree that it's too far, but towing the line,
at
I
this
guess.
point, it's going to take a tremendous error or a tremendous exploitation of that error for Flow State to come back into this. Not to say that there isn't a chance. There are definitely ways, but Mark 10 are dangling a massive lead that they should not fumble.
Your eyes out. Monjude is in the back looking for a dive. Maguli does put some good damage out here, but maybe not everyone on the same page.
Yeah, North is going to find one. Chicken takes a spill. That's going to be a second as Lakenator comes on in. 3 fall down, and North eats through the rest of the team. And with 5 down, Spooky.
Man.
I don't even know why I'm getting my end game growl on. That was the cleanest ace you could have possibly seen. As Mark 10 proved my point, they clean up the fight, ace it down, and bring us to a game number 3.
Yeah, and I was worried there that I was going to call it too soon, but no, I think calling the game there is perfectly valid. Nearest respawn is 16, 1 inhibs down, all 5 players are Mark 10. I think that's a perfectly reasonable place to say they want the game. They do. Yeah.
Very unfortunate ultimate from Chicken there takes North into the Nether Realm, away from Maguli's damage, and so now instead of having 2 backliners hitting...
I think criticizing myself for the energy I was putting in for that was bad. Should have just gone with it. Self-awareness can work sometimes. I think that just kind of made the call a bit sloppier. Yeah.
The same target, he only got 1, and he's extremely susceptible to the guy he just took into that 1v1 with him.
Maguli ends the game 0-9, by the way, here, folks.
North takes him down, comes right back, and the rest of the fight just gets...
And Chicken... So it's Chicken and Maguli who switched. So Chicken ends 2-6. Maguli ends 0-9. Yeah, North. I think one thing we could have done is highlighted North a bit more in analysis, but North was getting so much of the love in the action itself that I think the the praise is kind of implied. Big quadra kill, multiple triple kills, just big plays in general from the jungler. I think if I would make one note, I would emphasize highlighting North more on how Mach 10 won, rather than discussing Maguli and Chicken and how they lost. Even then, we only really bring it up 3 or 4 times over the course of the game, and even then, the two times that we mainly criticize it are right towards the end there. So I'm not sure that I agreed that I harped on it. I definitely don't agree that I was too harsh. I think an anecdote or two may have been towing the line, but overall I stand by my cast there. I think definitely some problems from Spooky and I as casters, fundamental, mechanically wise. But generally, mainly just like passing back and forward length, some clarity and experience issues on my end in terms of calling some of these team fights, generally speaking. Not the worst cast that we've had, I think. My experience with watching pro players is League esports and R6 esports. Okay. I don't have a lot of experience with R6, but I'm gonna make the claim actually that League esports skews a lot more to the style I would advocate for than a lot of other esports. League of Legends casters tend to do, at least from, I don't watch League esports religiously, but from my limited experience, I have heard them call out players quite a bit when they, play poorly or they make, bad decisions. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong there. Let's listen to the end call here.
Wrapped up so cleanly by Mach 10. Flow State, I think that you need to take a step back here and be more willing to slow things down, play their game the way they want to play it, and maybe put Maguli back in the ADC position and Chicken back in mid. That's definitely where they're most comfortable. I'm not going to say that role swap is the reason that they lost.
You should have.
I am.
But I don't think it hurt.
Yeah, like, and this is, I guess this is the crux of the argument, right? I think Spooky's being really soft on them here. I think from what we saw in game 1, which for those of you just watching this and who didn't watch the cast itself, you don't have that context. But game 1, Flow State were just so oppressive, so dominant, that I was sitting in my chair going, okay, so this will be a quick 2-0. I don't really see another reason why they lost, other than they had no pressure in mid. They had no pressure in mid. They had no pressure in left. Feng Mao was basically allowed to do whatever he wanted, and I think a lot of that was because the way that Maguli wanted to play and the way that he positioned was just not good. So yeah, I'm not really sure what else you could highlight as the reason they lost the game. Obviously, in MOBAs, there's never going to be a singular reason, but if you want to point to an overarching, what was the big issue here? I don't think it was the draft. I think the draft was okay. I think it was, the fact that the two players weren't playing the roles that they are supposed to play. There's one thing that I think you clarified you didn't mean as a dig, but came off to me as the caster's one. Would you mind clarifying for me what that was?
I am. I'm gonna bring you back 10 minutes to where I said there has never been a professional game of any MOBA, and I defy anyone anywhere to tell me otherwise, where a role swap mid-set has worked out. I'm not sure why the call was made to switch Maguli into mid and Chicken into ADC, but
There's one thing that, it was earlier in the match when you skipped over Maguli's death, because you wanted to hear what Spooky was saying. Oh! Okay. If that came across as a dig, then, I'm sorry. I personally can't see how that could come across as a dig. because I didn't say anything particularly about Maguli, right? Only he's already dead. Go back to what you were saying. But if that came off as a dig, then I'll chalk it up as five times that I harped, quote unquote, 5 times that I mentioned the role swap being detrimental. But yeah, I clarified why I said that.
I can't see a good reason. If the reason was Maguli really wanted to play mid, maybe he should be playing ranked.
I agree with
You
that.
should just be playing Revenant mid.
I
That's the
I
thing.
stand
We've
by
seen
that.
it before. I mean, I could sit here and say quite a few things, but it would really just be the same statements in
for
different
the
words over.
In the moment, it came off as a, of course he was going to die. Yeah. But yeah.
Aura just yet.
I think have I hit it?
Even.
Yeah, I've hit it exactly here. Like, as the more experienced player,
I don't know if you noticed.
he's dead here. Like, surrounded by 2, Lakeinator and Briar right here.
Lazy.
Countess is about to come in. You know, guy's dead to rights.
Under some duress,
He's
you're
dead.
gonna get taken down by Lake Nader.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give him attention. No, don't talk about it. Carry on.
Yeah. Where were we?
Not Wraith.
1-1. It's gonna be crucial for Flow State. Figure out what went wrong. Maybe just make that switch back and play the game the way you've been practicing, the way you've been finding success so far.
And the other thing I will say is Spooky goes, I'm not going to say that's the reason they lost, but then also says that's the reason they lost. Just putting that out there.
I love how I'm just going for the jugular, and the way that Spooky's explaining the situation is like his favorite band broke up, and he's going, "No, you work so well together. Just go back to what you know. Make indie music." That's the only thing I could think of hearing you say that. But no, I gotta agree. I mean, the more so about the playstyle, right? Flow State, I feel, put a lot of eggs in this.
And now we move on to the actual draft and the fact that it was poorly executed. So, you know, we find other things to talk about in regards to issues that the draft had.
Not Revenant, not Wraith, Severog basket. Trying to make sure that they get to that level. I think at this point, you know, there's that level of play where if you draft a Severog that early, you expose yourself to that counterplay. Very easily exploitable, and, well, when you play against a team at the caliber of Mark 10, they're going to do exactly that. I'll highlight North on the Guan Yu. Bang now, whatever, same guy, big stick. This was a pick. This is a pick I was dubious about. Last pick needed to be the big swing that was going to win them the game, and hey, North had a phenomenal performance.
So I think I'm going a little too long here. Spooky's my analyst, so I should have found a way to pass that off to him. I think one thing we don't talk about here that I think would have been really good to talk about in regards to the Severog is the fact that Mercy basically spent no time in offlane. And I feel like my statement, I feel like, is true. You know, at a higher level, you expect to be able to properly deal with and counter a Severog. But I think in that same sentiment, at a high enough level, you should know that if your Severog's going to have a hard time in lane, you want to send your jungler over to help get him started, which I feel like is something Mercy did not properly do.
Yeah, I think the draft strategy from...
So I think I would have highlighted that as well if I was going to go back.
Top 10 was absolutely impeccable there. They just left that Kwang up and just let Flow State feel so comfortable about what they were drafting into, just for the alley-oop at the end there, say, hey, we've actually got so much more damage in store for you than you were expecting. And I don't think Flow State's draft was really prepared for that, right? The Argus doesn't really enjoy the Feng Mao. He's probably the one that fares against him best, just because he has the most on-demand CC he can throw into his face. Sevrog doesn't really enjoy facing Fang Mao and Countess. It's way too much early game damage for him to comfortably get stacks online. Same was true for that Revenant. There was just not enough mobility, not enough safety. It really just all fell into place for Mach 10 and really played out just the way they drafted it.
Well, I would say a phenomenal game to take us to a tiebreaker. Burn a set, guys. We're going to a game 3, but
Yeah.
after that performance, I'm just hoping that Flow State can make it to game 3 and still have some signs of life. So, Spooky, we're going to throw it to a break. We're going to let them grab some water. I think they'll need about this much. And hopefully, when we get back, they'll sort out their draft, sort out their positioning, and get us back in for a solid end of the set. So it's a best of 1 now. All comes down to the draft. That was the take. Take us out. That was really messy send off for me as well there. Yeah, I think the parting shot was definitely the step too far. I'll throw my hands up for that, and you know. I didn't need to add in that extra little bit. I stand by saying, you know, hopefully in the next game they'll sort out this, and this. I do think looking critically at the team was important there. The parting shot was, I think, where I would agree that, you know, it was maybe 1 too far. Overall, I don't think I was that harsh. Could have definitely been harsher. I will emphasize though, to support my own point for the last time, I want to clarify, I never once said anything bad personally about any of the players. I want to highlight the fact that I never said anything bad about their play when they weren't making mistakes, and that I only highlighted things that they did badly in the game. I highlighted decisions that they made, called them questionable, discussed the ramifications of that on the overall state of the game. Did I embellish for extra entertainment? Yes. Did I maybe try and go a little too funny and it was a little too far? Debatable. Could definitely see the that viewpoint for sure. Overall though, I think from Spooky and I, a solid cast. Games like that are always going to be weird from a casting perspective, where you are trying your best to keep an audience entertained when it's just a kill slog fest, which a lot of people might think would be entertaining games, but generally turn out to be kind of boring. When there's a lot of fights that kind of don't really mean anything and don't go anywhere. So finding the entertainment angle there, I think Spooky and I did pretty well at still having fun with the cast, still bringing some entertaining moments in there. I think notes for both Spooky and I, the main thing, just holding the mic for too long individually, kind of being a bit worried to pass it off and let our co-chair pass it back to us if needed. And then for myself personally is just that kind of extra level of game knowledge, getting used to casting, getting used to seeing the game from this perspective, I think is very important. But yeah, there you go. That was VOD review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We've still got like an hour and a bit left of the stream, so hey chat, what do you want to do? What do you want to do for the rest of the stream? We've got games we can play, we got, I don't know, shit we can watch, I guess. We could watch another match there, but I think we'll get roughly the same points. So, Pred Legacy is fun. Could play some Pred Legacy. Don't know if I'm feeling more Predecessor right now. It's the only thing. But do I know what else I want to do? Do I have thoughts and feelings? New mid laner though? Ooh! Could try playing the new mid laner. Though quite a few people are doing that. I don't know, Chan. I don't know what I want to do. Mike dead? No, I'm just not saying anything. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to decide what to do with the rest of the stream, Midas, pretty much. Because I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know what to do, Chad. You guys ever get that moment where you're just there like, fuck me? That moment where you're like looking at all the games and stuff that you have and that you like to play, and you're there like, none of these really look good to me. Go on, give us a play-by-play on Pred. A play-by-play? What do you mean? You want to cast a game of Pred right now? You just missed VOD review. Nah, a play-by-play, not casting. What does that mean, Midas? When you say that, what do you mean? Have you never watched a play-by-play? No. When you say play-by-play, all I hear is casting. Because that's what I do. It's when you live talk about what and why you're doing things. Oh. So play predecessor and do what I normally do, is what you're saying. You gonna come join me? You wanna come play some predecessor, Midas? Is that what you're saying? Like, so I have wave aggro here, so I'm gonna look towards this camp. I'm playing a new game. What new game? This beautiful dinner is sitting right in front of me, and I'm like, my tummy does not feel right. I want to eat you, but the thought of eating makes me feel bad. Hellcock. Damn. What is Hellclock? Oh god. Is it a roguelike? Oh no! It's a roguelike. Not gonna play the new roguelike. Not gonna play the roguelike. Not gonna play the roguelike. I don't need to buy the roguelike. Don't need to buy the roguelike. But roguelikes are so fun. Scar, I have a crippling addiction to roguelikes. It's a genuine problem. You know what I kind of want to do? I want to play Pokemon. That's what I want to do. It's an ADHD thing, I'm pretty sure. That would make a lot of sense. I like roguelikes so much that I even play Pokemon in a roguelike fashion. Roguelikes scratch the itch so well. They do. They very much do. Okay. Okay. Oh, chat. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna take off my headphones because they are hurting my ears, and I don't need to necessarily hear the music to know what's going on. Okay. So, a needle pulling thread. We are this close to facing Maylene. We lost a Pokemon last time for stupid reasons. Who did we lose? Okay, we lost Beautifly. It's a shame, but what you gonna do? What we can do, though, is get ready for Maylene. So there is only one required encounter in this next gym, and it's Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, Hitmontop. Pretty sure we can get away with just by throwing, like, can we just, like, throw, like, Alakazam in there? What is our Alakazam like? Have ice! Ow! This is why we don't play with pins, because we just stabbed ourselves in the arm. Okay. I'm not sure that I have saved and actually checked out the stats on the new Pokemon that we have for a little while. So let's have a little look-see, shall we? So for those of you just joining us, I know it says no calc at the top, and this is true. We're not using the calculator to figure out what Pokemon to use, what moves to use. We are simply using it because it tells us what the IVs of our Pokemon are. So, let's have a little looky-loo here. Okay. So, looking at Kadabra, we have a 22 special attack, 30 speed? That's pretty fucking good. Nature's pretty much neutral for us, up defense, down special defense. But that is very good to note, actually. Duskull, max attack, basically minimum defense, up special attack minus speed. 31 speed is crazy, but we obviously have the minus speed. Terrible HP, terrible defense, which is not ideal for a physical wall, but we move. Our special attack stat on execute is pretty bad, and that's not great. That's not great either. Meryl here, really high attack, really low defense, decent speed, up defense on Lax, pretty good. What else haven't we checked out? Ooh, our unknown is. Why is our unknown actually kind of insane? Grumpig. Mid special attack, decent speed, plus attack, really good attack. Grumpig has Zen Headbutt. I think, yeah, even with all those attack buffs, it is still heavily skewed. But okay. We got some pretty good things to work with here. I think one of the other things we need to do is run back to Celestic Town, to Eterna City, to change Rotom back to Rotom Air. But the general makeup of our team for Maylene should look a little something like this, 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 and probably another flying type of some description. Take Pidgeot. Why not? Oh wait, no, we've got Rotom Air. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent base comp. I'm just gonna spend a quick second here to level some people up. In the meantime, chat, how are we all doing today? I realized that I haven't actually asked all that much, and I'm so sorry. I actually have. Wait, why do I have no? Got no damaging psychic type moves, which isn't great, given that we need them. Please learn a psychic type move. Ideally, like psychic. Oh wait, we have psychic that we got from Lucian. We're fine. No, he learns it anyway. Fine. Okay, we'll go to 37 for now. Curse could be interesting, but I'm not. The amount of chances that we'll use Pursuit generally pretty low. Just for my own reminding, pretty sure Duskull, we're looking at physical attack, right? We don't really care about special attack. Yeah. We've got Shadow Sneak here, so we're fine with not having Shadow Ball. Great. Shadow Punch is great. Get rid of Payback. I think we can just give him, I'll just triple check, actually. Dusclops. 47 Destiny Bond. Dusk Noir, 47 Destiny Bond, yeah. So we can find our Reaper Cloth straight away. Nice, and we get to bring a Dusk Noir into the next gym with us, which is insanely cool. And will be very useful. Not only that, but a Dusclops with, oh, we want a Leaf Stone for you, don't we? Egg. How do you spell execute? Not with egg. Yeah, we don't necessarily want to level. Actually, learn Leaf Storm at 39. It's kind of everything that we're going to learn. Execute. Yeah, kind of. Nearly. EXEGGCUT. Close. Close, but also simultaneously kind of not close. For execute, kind of, I think we're fine to just level him to 39. Do we even have a leaf stone? Yeah, I think everything else we're fine. But yeah, that is going to be the other question: is do we even have a leaf stone to give to him? A leaf. Do you believe in life after love? No, we don't. Okay, alright. So gotta find a leaf stone someplace. That's fine. We can do that. And then I'll bring these guys up to 37 as well. Definitely don't want the move charge. Okay. So, let's go back to... we'll make the long trek back to Eterna. Unless we can we just use the secret key from here? No. Okay. So we gotta go all the way back to Eterna City. Which is fine. In the meantime... I had a question that I was going to ask. But now, I, for the life of me, cannot think of it. Nope. Gone. I truly cannot believe that we are most of the way through July already. Like, I know, well, like, woe is me, first world problems. But it is kind of crazy to me that, of my 8-week holiday over the summer, the first 2.5 weeks are kind of already gone. And man, it feels so weird to say, because I do feel like I'm kind of complaining a little bit. But equally, Jesus. What's gonna be least useful? I feel like Shadow Ball does kind of... Air Slash does kind of everything I would want Shadow Ball to do in this fight, right? But, yeah, I don't know if you guys kind of feel that as well. I know most of my audience is out of education. What is TM54? Wait, we never got this before. What is this? What is TM54? What do you do? False swipe. Okay, so fucking nothing then. But like, feels to me like when I am at work, the months kind of simultaneously drip and rush by. Like, the fact that it is nearly 2026 is insane to me. The last school year went simultaneously so fast and so slow. And it just feels like the last few weeks have gone even faster, which sucks. For obvious reasons. Or what I assume to be obvious reasons. Ah, shit. No, please! Not the breeder! I actually can't. I can't deal damage to this thing. No, we're asleep! You are an ice type. And I don't vibe with that, actually. Fine. You're part normal type, so I need to switch. You're a smaller version of me. Die. Okay. Fine. But yeah. I don't know. Time is a construct, and it just doesn't always feel very fair. Find Leafstone. This is when I find out that Leafstone is back in Eternity, isn't it? Veilstone Department Store is actually where I can find Leafstone, which works out perfectly. Do you believe in life after love? But yeah, I've been trying to use this extra time to focus on content, and in some ways we have. Shoutouts to our wonderful editor, a wonderful new editor dungeon. I think part of the punishing part of having time off is being out of that routine of actually being in an office. So there's a lot more excuses for me to just be there like, oh, you know, it's my holiday. I don't want to work today. I don't want to go upstairs into the hot, sweaty office in the middle of summer and find clips to edit and write scripts and shit. Which isn't a great excuse, and I acknowledge that. What my plan is, I say plan and not hope, because if I say hope, it gives me wiggle room. My plan is that once I get back to my first week of actual working from home over the summer, my actual job, you're going to give us the Earthquake TM. Is that I can set aside a little day for myself where I actually sit down and work on some content. I've been tossing around some ideas for some short form content as well, which is maybe a little more comedy than you guys are used to. Can we get another encounter down here? We can. We can get our 214 encounter and our Maniac Ruins encounter. Okay, let's do that then. This is Curlia, Chimico, Giraffarig. The only one here who's scary is Giraffarig. We just punch. Should be Giraffarig here. Yep. That'll be Crunch, which is fine, because we go to Calamon, who just... Oh, Jesus, that was more damage than I was expecting. Who takes a Zen Headbutt here? Kokuamon? Oh, no! Did I accidentally int? I might have done. I know he's... Okay, he's locked into Uproar now. So we can safely switch back to Dusk Noir. Will-O-Wisp and just kind of wait out. Wait it out. Oh, but now you calm down. So now you're just gonna press Crunch again. That's so cringe. Fuck. Wait, and that like... that's really bad. Oh, okay. You know what? Dusk Noir's fine. Crunch doesn't kill even on crit. It's half damage now. This is 108 defense. Okay, nothing else is really gonna take much from this. How fast is Giraffe Break? I mean, we have a significant level lead, but I feel like Calamon got crit by Zen Headbutt, right? But we are faster? Or were we not faster? Is that why? Your defense is half, so you're going to take basically what Bakuman took last turn. But you're quite fast. You've got a lot of bulk. This'll be fine. See? The question is just, are we faster now, which I feel like we should be. Yeah, we are. And this is just Chimeco now. Psychic, extrasensory. Shouldn't be. Oh, actually, hold on. Can we just mirror code? Nope. Safeguard. Take the psychic. Mirror coat. We may as well just send headbutt ourselves, right? We have higher. We have higher special attack. We did the crit. Probably. God, we are not doing a lot of damage, huh? Okay. Now we're gonna switch. And then I think we just Shadow Sneak, right? What? Fuck. We didn't see that. Okay. Possible encounters for 214. Right. Okay, we could Good Rod for guaranteed Magikarp, which I still don't think we have. Right? We still don't have a Magikarp? Is that true? Yeah, we still don't have a Magikarp. But we also don't have a Goldeen because we didn't catch the encounter before. So that's maybe a bit more of a risk than I would like to take. We could Grass for a chance at Houndour or Nummel, which would be very nice to have a fire type. Houndour especially, although, that being said, we've got 3 dark types already, which is pretty good. 4, actually, once we evolve Larvitar. But still, having that would be pretty good. Could potentially get Cacnea, which I don't think we need another grass type. But that would be another dark type, so that'd be cool. Graveler, Rhyhorn, Nummel, Houndour, Cacnea. Not a terrible thing at all. Or we could Honey Tree for Apom, Vigoroth, Butterfree, Beedrill, Munchlax. Munchlax would be cool, but everything else in there is kind of not worth it. One thing to note is the Graveler here could explode. Do I have a Pokemon with Damp? No. The answer is no. But I do have a Pokemon that is immune to normal type moves, so fine. Cool! And we can grab our Choice Band here as well, which will be useful. Be very useful for Maylene. Cool. And let's grab our encounter, and then we can talk about Maniac Tunnel as well. where we're looking at Whismur, Hippopotas, Loudred, Ditto, or Dugtrio. Oh, we can't have Dugtrio. A Cacnea. Probably the worst thing we could have encountered here. What moves does this thing have? Do I need to be worried about it, like, hitting me with, I guess Water Absorb. Pretty interesting. 28. So, Payback, Needle Arm, Faint Attack, yeah. My whole team of Pokemon that are weak to Dark types is probably not looking great here. We can Encore that and basically just go to... Let's burn it. Go back to Calamon. Right. We have better balls. I'm not sure why we need that. Okay! This is obviously Togemon. Obviously, it is the Togemon. Cacnea, huh? Weird. Okay. Maniac Tunnel, we are looking for... I'll just triple check. I'm pretty sure we already had a Diglett. Yeah. So, Diglett and Dugtrio are off the table. So, this is Whismur, Hippopotas, or Ditto. I guess Hippopotas is probably our best Pokemon here. Doesn't feel great to say, but there you go. Yeah, that's about right. And I guess this has got to be Edamon too, right? Not quite a monkey, but a Pokemon that enjoys big, loud noises. Feels like Edamon. Sounds like Edamon. Probably is Edamon. Okay. This is also where we can pick up some focus sashes and really give ourselves a few lifelines there, which is nice. Prizes can now be bought with straight cash, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and they made focus sashes way cheaper. Wait, hold on. This would be 10,000 coins, but now it's only 1,000, and I am gonna buy a ton. Holy shit. Wait. Getting a Toxic Orb and a Flame Orb might be pretty nice. Wait, we have things to pre-burn ourselves. Getting a King's Rock might be quite nice. Actually, getting White Herb Power and White Herbs here are pretty decent as well. Pretty good way to trigger Unburden for Grovyle. White Herb. Okay. And we have a Leaf Stone for Digitamamon. Great. Great. Cool. Hitmonchan, Close Combat, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. Hitmonlee, Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Mach Punch. Okay, the only thing here that can deal damage to Dusknoir is Hitmonchan. Which feels, sucks to be him. Where are my leftovers? Are all my leftovers being used right now? Okay, give me the metronome. Give me that orange berry. Give me those leftovers. Give me those leftovers. Give me those leftovers. Gee, I wonder what's gonna be. Okay, that's citrus berry. Fair enough. And this will also be leftovers. And there's the sixth one. Okay. Okay. Cool. Hi, Lucas. Crash Awake exists, much to our chagrin. Days go by so quickly when you don't have anything to do. What I have been doing, is I've been playing through Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door for the first time ever. And, you know, it's a game that I've always wanted to play, and I picked up the first Paper Mario game when I got access to it. And I was like, this is fine. I didn't finish it. But, like, man! I've really been loving The Thousand Year Door. I have been eating it. And I have since been very curious as to whether or not I should pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza. The game looks really fun. And I'm not... I'm not sure. I've never played a game quite like it, you know? So I'm worried that I'll end up not liking it. But equally, it looks really fun. But I've never played like a Mario Odyssey game or... That's so tasty. I'm good with not letting me look. That's okay. That's fine by me. Okay. In theory now, we shouldn't have to face any more of these jabronis. Unless we fuck up the puzzle. The only other guy I think we might have to face is Black Belt Jeffrey. Who, if we do, we should definitely be leading with Calamon. Then we just got to figure out our strategy for Maylene. I have an idea. It's been a little while since I've been to Veilstone City. This is fine. So, Maylene's gonna lead with Medicham. What I'm thinking is, because Medicham can't... I mean, it can. It can hit us with Zen Headbutt, it can hit us with Ice Punch. And with Pure Power, it's gonna hurt, especially with, Dusk Noir being minimum defense IVs. So, the biggest question in my mind... Okay. Because last time we were able to pivot back and forth between Granbull with Intimidate and then Bayonet, who was able to immune out the high jump kicks. So the question for me is going to be, how do we slow Maylene down long enough to basically set up? Kind of the operative word. We want to be in a position where we can kind of set up on Maylene. Because she is just kind of that scary. We need to go... Yeah, we need to go this way. And we have one or two options for that. We can teach Calm Mind to, like, Alakazam. Or... like Grumpig or something. The problem is gonna be we can't confidently send out either of our flying types in fear of Ice Punch. We can't confidently send out any of our psychic types. Oh, I guess we kind of can. Wait, Patamon's thick fat here, right? Oh, its own tempo. Okay, great. Thick fat would have been pretty good. I guess we could we could set up a world in which Medicham high jump kicks itself to death on Bakamon. The question is just finding out how we want to deal with this fight, right? Because we've got a lot of pieces here, and they work. I wonder if we can... what we could do is bring, like, a normal type that's gonna bait high jump kick, switch to Calamon, Encore. Hey, thank you very much, Predecessor Premier League, for following. I appreciate it, man. You have missed VOD review, but if you want to check out what we said, it'll be the start of this VOD. I can highlight it separately and then post it to the Discord if you are so inclined. If that's something that you guys want. But we could force Medicham to Encore into high jump kick. And then potentially move into someone else. But the question is, are we even faster than Medicham? It's a really good question. Medicham. Naive. It's a naive Medicham, which I want to say is an up speed. Yeah, up speed, down special defense. So Medicham is only 80 speed. Togekiss is also 80 speed base. Yo, what's up, D-Dog? Thank you very much for enrolling into the College of Bards. How you doing today, man? So Togekiss is already... but it is also up speed, but it's only... 16 speed IVs. So the question is, at level 39, does my Togekiss outspeed the level 38 Medicham? I'm saying probably no. Sup, dog? Sup, D-Dog? It's not even... wait, hold on. Did they buff Medicham at all? Yeah, Medicham has... okay. Medicham is faster than Calamon, so we can't do the Encore strat. That doth not work. Okay. Thought process 2. Ugh. This is so confusing. Does Patamon have Will-O-Wisp? has Mirror Coat. I feel like our best shout here is to lead with Dusk Noir, set up a Will-O-Wisp, right? Because anything else is going to get Ice Punched. I think we lead with Dusk Noir, Will-O-Wisp the Medicham first. That's going to bait pretty much only ever Zen Headbutt. I feel like we should bring a Dark type with us to this fight. So which one's going to be the most effective? Cacton? Basically just as a way to pivot in and out of Psychic type moves, right? We just want a Dark type who's going to bait Dark type, bait fighting type moves and take Psychic type moves. I think Cacnea. What a bit. Hold on, we haven't even checked this thing out. Up special attack, Sand Veil. God, this thing's ass. Although we kind of have, weirdly, we're kind of building a pretty decent sand team across Cacturn, Flygon, Tyranitar, Cradily. We've kind of got a half-decent sand team if we can make it there. So maybe we don't want to bring that. This is not Intimidate. This is Torrent, which is unfortunate. And then this... We're only bringing them as a way to attack, as a way to bait moves. I'm just not sure that I want to lose any of these guys in particular. Especially not Weavile. Weavile does not step near this gym, ain't no way, ain't no how. So I think it's got to be Oh. I think it's got to be Cacnea, right? What level does Cacnea evolve? $32. I think we bring this instead of the tree. What does Tree do? Tree loses to Infernape, Toxicroak. Does pretty good into Gallade. Does pretty good into just loses into Lucario because of Dark Pulse. Loses against Machamp because Payback. Loses against Medicham because of Ice Punch. And Grumpig. See, I just feel like Grumpig does worse, right? Because it doesn't even have the benefit being positive. But then again, we are then looking at a losing matchup into Toxicroak. We'll use Executor at some point. Probably. Probably, maybe. Right, quick level up montage. Ooh, spikes could be pretty interesting. Have we considered setting up? We don't have anyone with... Okay, yeah, that's a bad idea. Cacturn, physical attacker or special attacker? Good question. Both, actually. Equally both. That's very interesting. And no changes to Cacnea, so this is literally just, do we want flinch or do we want the potential to lower special defense? I think we gotta go for energy ball here, right? Okay. We'll level everyone up as well. I feel like everyone learns, everyone's wanting to learn something. Okay, something else that we should think about. Okay. Who kills Metachan? Anyone on this team can kill Metachan. Even Togemon, actually. Who on this team can deal with Machamp? Close combat, Thunder Punch, Payback, Protect. Probably Dusk Noir is our only and main thing. Actually, never mind. Kokoamon is basically the perfect counter to Machamp. Who on this team fights Infernape? Close combat, Mach Punch, Fire Punch, Rock Slide. That's definitely a Bakamon kind of moment. Who fights Toxicroak, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, Ice Punch, Sucker Punch? That is a very good question. This one probably goes to Calamon if we can find a way to get him in nicely. Gallade. Who fights Gallade? Zen Headbutt, Drain Punch. Psychic fighting type. This feels like this could just be Gigimon. And then Lucario, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Flash Cannon, Agility. Kind of my whole team struggles against that. So probably need to find something to fill that gap. Or something that can learn Earthquake. So, does anything on this team want to learn Earthquake? Yes! Actually, and it is Dusk Noir. Don't feel like there's a world that I'm going to want to use Curse. So that is something. Man. Dazzling Gleam could be very good here as well. I don't feel like, I don't feel like there's ever a world in which Alakazam stays on the field long enough to put up screens. So we'll take that away. Give him Shadow Ball as well. Yeah, I know you can learn it. Instead of Reflect. Shadow Ball can probably go to a few people as well. Anyone who doesn't know Psychic can learn Psychic. You've got a Fairy type move already. You have no special attack. So that's fine. Okay. The question, I think, really is, because if we can do it, it's going to be great. The question is, can we set up Alakazam with enough Calm Minds to just run through this gym? I think no, primarily based on Toxicroak having Sucker Punch, which I'm pretty sure just one-taps us, regardless of how many Calm Minds we have up. So what's the fucking plan, Blazy Bard? That's a very good question. I think the plan for us has got to be we lead with Cacturn, and we jiggle between Cacturn and Dusk Noir to kill Medicham. We get Medicham to kill itself with High Jump Kick. I think that's the initial play. And I'm gonna give Cacturn like a fighting type berry. What's the fighting type berry? Chipotle berry. For those of you wondering, it is technically possible to get all of the damage reducing berries by this point in the game if you basically stop and spend every day talking to the berry master just just west of the ghost type gym, Heart Home. So I'm allowing myself to use them because my intention is not to sit here every day until I get the right berry for each specific gym. So in the interest of time and my own sanity, any berry that I could theoretically have access to, I have access to. So, if we do accidentally get hit by a high jump kick, Togemon should, in theory, survive. So, that leaves us with Dusknoir out on the field. Nothing on Maylene's team inherently is super effective against Dusknoir. Fighting, Poison, Psychic, Steel. So, there should be Machamp in next for payback. This is Toxic Orb Machamp. And it will have payback. Also has Thunder Punch, Close Combat, and Protect. So this is when we just switch straight to Kokuamon. As far as to my knowledge, the AI should click Protect straight away. Even if it clicks Payback here, I think we should be fine. And then I'm pretty confident an Air Slash will do pretty good. Kokuamon's out, so that's Electric and Flying, which nothing on Maylene's team directly counters, but Infernape has Rock Slide, so that'll likely come out, because that's the next super effective move that it sees. When Infernape comes out for Rock Slide, I guess that's when we go back to Dusknoir. So I don't think there's really much that Infernape does to me. Should be fine from there. Infernape then dies. Toxicroak comes out for Sucker Punch. Toxicroak's going to be interesting. Because if we're low enough health to where it can just Poison Jab or Ice Punch straight away, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. So I wonder if maybe we need to find an alternative plan. Or how do we get Alakazam in safely there? Because normally I could just put like a Focus Sash on Alakazam. And then he's safe because he can just one-tap it. But with Sucker Punch in there and Sucker Punch being super effective, I'm worried that that won't quite cut it. So it might be a case of, because I'm pretty sure Togekiss certainly outspeeds Toxicroak. I don't think Toxicroak is very fast. Toxicroak is, in fact, faster still than Togekiss. And the nature of this is Lonely, which is another speed boosting nature. Lonely is up attack, down defense. So it's not plus speed, which means Calamon might actually outspeed it. Maybe. Man, where's Mawile at when you need it, dude? Okay, I think we need to find something else for Toxicroak. So, something that's going to stand up to a Sucker Punch, and then also Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Drain Punch. Even if that's maybe just, it's there. You're gonna have the same problems. You're gonna get one tapped. You just get fucked by Ice Punch. Same with you. You're dead to a Sucker Punch. You're dead to a Drain Punch. You're dead to an Ice Punch. You're dead probably to Drain Punch. You probably don't do great. But what do you do? Do you Choice Scarf Earthquake? You're jolly. You're fast. 30 speed IVs. Could that be the answer? I'm not sure that we have many other answers, honestly. But Choice Scarf Sudowoodo might be the answer. Should just evolve, right? Can you learn Earthquake? I'm pretty sure that it can. You do. Sudowoodo could actually be the answer here, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with that or not. But I think Choice Scarf Sudowoodo might actually do the job. Because what? It doesn't take really any damage from Poison Jab, Ice Punch, or Sucker Punch. It's got pretty decent defense. This thing is only 12 defense IVs, but definitely will take Sucker Punch here. But Sudowoodo itself has pretty decent defense. Right, what is your speed stat? Now that you have evolved, changed, and grown. So it's 44. With Choice Scarf, it would be 66, which probably does not outspeed. But it does set up... Just kind of force Toxicroak into Drain Punch. Which we could definitely swap Alakazam into. And then Choice Scarf Alakazam. I mean, I don't even know that it has to be Choice Scarfed Alakazam to outspeed. It almost certainly doesn't, right? The question is just, does Sucker Punch then one-shot us? But then we could just slap... We have Focus Sash. We have so many Sashes. Just give one of these to you. Great. And then... I don't know, we give maybe like a Citrus Berry, or maybe just another Chipotle Berry to Sudowoodo. And then... I guess it should be like a Citrus Berry for Togekiss as well. Okay. Is this gonna work? Who the fuck knows? This is probably the best plan that I have, though. So... So now what happens? Now, Gigimon is out to kill Toxicroak. Maylene doesn't see anything super effective, but sees Dark Pulse on Lucario, or it could be Gallade. If it's Dark Pulse Lucario, we go Togekiss to take Dark Pulse. Things Focus Sash. So if we could get a Spikes off at some point, that would be great, just to break Focus Sash. In fact, is it even maybe worth... Can we even guarantee that it's going to be a high jump kick into this slot and not Ice Punch? Is not something I had considered. Because I feel like Ice Punch also kills. Because this is not a very good Pokemon. 2 defense IVs, by the way. So maybe it is worth bringing a different Dark type. But which different Dark type? Well, it's gotta be this, right? It's gotta be for Alligator at that point. Because nothing else makes sense. Okay. So, you stay there. Sorry, chat. This is taking a little longer than some of our other plans have taken. Just because I don't know that we don't really have great tools for Maylene. Weirdly enough. Sure. Sure. Okay. So I think this should then be a Chipotle Berry. Just in case. Still doesn't really help us in terms of breaking the Focus Sash on Lucario. Or does it? Because when we're on Togekiss, then we could probably lock it into Dark Pulse unless it Agilities. But if it Agilities, could we then... Yeah, I'm sure that there's no way Togekiss is faster, right? Should we Choice Scarf? Do we Choice Scarf Togekiss? Basically just to use as Encore bait. Because if we lock Lucario into Dark Pulse, I feel like we could very easily go Feraligatr, who we teach Earthquake to, because I'm almost certain Feraligatr can learn Earthquake. Yep. We can get rid of Ice Fang for now. Or just get rid of Slash. Why are we holding on to Slash? Okay. Okay, let's fucking go for it, I guess. Blazybot versus Maylene. Okay, so we're expecting this to high jump kick. We go straight to Bakamon. Okay, we are now expecting this to Zen Headbutt. So we go back to Leviamon. Even if this is Ice Punch, it's not a big deal. Yep, and then we pivot back to Bakamon. And this is how we kill the Metacham. Okay. First Pokemon, easy enough. This should be Machamp now. Okay, well, I guess we Shadow Sneak. Okay. Okay. A little more switcheroos. But the next one will be a Shadow Sneak. Easy peasy. Because even if that doesn't kill... Shadow Sneak goes first. Dead. Cheaty AI and their potions. I know, right? Curse you, Maylene. Lucario straight away next. This is Dark Pulse. This is why we brought Calamon. We are Choice Scarfed, so we hit Encore here. So this thing is now locked into Dark Pulse. We are also now locked into Encore, so we can't stay in. Encore lasts, I think, 4 to 7 turns, so there should be enough time for Feraligatr to come in and kill it. Hit it twice. That's 2 turns Encored. Earthquake hits once. 3 turns Encored. The flinch is really bad, though. Okay, its Encore didn't end. It didn't say Encore ended, so there should be Dark Pulse again. Do not flinch. The crit sucks. Okay, fine. We are still on track. Should now be Machamp, front of the party. Regardless of what Machamp wants to do here, because this will be random move, Kokuamon should be able to take pretty much everything. Close combat. Honestly, perfect. A bit more damage than maybe I was hoping to take, but absolutely fine. He's now also lowered his defenses. Toxic Orb means that's going to do even more damage next turn, but should be fine. We now Will-O-Wisp, Air Slash. That should kill. With the defense drops. Nice. Infernape now for Rock Slide. Show me the monkey. Okay. Rock Slide from Infernape. Into this. Huge! Absolutely lovely. Okay, we're gonna hit a Earthquake now. Likely, I mean, this is gonna be either Rock Slide or Fire Punch again. Just don't get burned. Oh my god, that's so much damage! This has got to do enough so that it's in... Nice. That should very easily be Shadow Sneak range. Dead monkey. Toxicroak comes out. This is where we should be absolutely fine to go to Sudowoodo. Should never be Drain Punch. Sudowoodo takes anything. We are Chipotle Berry, right? So I think we can just stay in. We are Chipotle Berry. No, don't. But even if Jijimon gets hit by... Yeah, no, we need to stay in here. Yeah. Don't die. Nice. Does this even kill? I feel like it doesn't. Oh, God. Oh, wait. This is fine. No! She had a second potion! Oh, fuck. That's really... Actually, ooh, this is fine. Drain Punch. Encore. And then I feel like we go to... This is still Encored. So it can't Sucker Punch me. We're just gonna Shadow Punch it. We don't need to worry about reducing damage. 2 Shadow Punches will do. This will be fine. Boom. Dead. Okay, Gallade, last Pokemon. Only thing it can hit us with is Zen Headbutt. Ghost doesn't resist Psychic, does it? Ghost does not resist Psychic. But we have 110 defense. Psychic does resist itself. Okay. Okay, I think... This is Brave, Steadfast, Light Clay. So it's not really here to do the big damage. I think if we Shadow Punch this turn... I want a Will-O-Wisp, but I'm so worried about the chance that it misses. 85% chance. I think we just go for it. I think we just let it rip. Okay, it didn't see a kill. So that's important. It did not see kill, but even through Reflect, Shadow Punch does half damage. Hold. Let's fucking go, baby. Deathless Maylene. Oh, that felt amazing. Oh. That actually felt really fucking good. And then we get our own Drain Punch TMs. Oh my goodness. Guys. We just fucked up Maylene pretty bad. Oh my god, that was stressful. Deathless Maylene. Pretty happy with how that went. Only way that could have been better is if fucking Feraligatr had any other ability. Specifically Intimidate, which is the other ability that Feraligatr can have. Because we did have to take that risk on Lucario. Getting flinched there was dangerous, was scary. But I think putting the Choice Scarf on Togekiss worked out so much better than I was expecting. But guys, that is gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me, chat. Expect to see some shorts up in the next few days. Working on our first long form video. So look out for that in the near future. But until then, folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you all fucking next time. Peace.